Oh, that's
Ew! Oh!
that is kind of gross. All these things are so like obvious though.
This is how you become a bad, troublesome one.
Alright, this is how you get your ass beat.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Are we good? Are you done fucking up there, cameraman, zoom! I don't know where we left off with what they heard and what they didn't, but we'll just say it again. That doesn't go inside her!
Leonardo DiCaprio. Critters.
And Ray Finkel's dad from
I don't know who the
from
fuck
Ace
Ray-
Ventura.
Who is Ray Finkel?
He's the one that the kicker that turned
Howard!
into the woman.
Howard Finkel. I have no idea. I cannot picture that at all.
Of course, the stupid landlord cuts the power in the phone lines to try to get people to leave the building because he wants to get it condemned so he can rebuild it.
Sure.
So of course that helps the fucking critters out, you know, which is fucking dumb. Charlie, the town drunk, again ends up killing them all, but he finds 2 eggs at the end, and the other bounty hunter tells him not to kill them, not to destroy them because they're the only 2 left of the species, and that there's a pod coming that's gonna take them to space. So that's where the next one ends up, is in space.
They all
always
have to go to
end up.
space.
Yep.
Hey, where you going? To space.
Angela Bassett is in this one,
Ooh,
Yeah.
and Brad Dourif, the guy who plays Wormtongue in
Love
in
Brad
Two
Dourif.
Towers, is in it.
Dave, this is a Halloween special. You would say Brad Dourif, who plays Chucky. No one's here for the fucking Lord of the Rings now. They're here for the scary.
I thought you meant, for a second, I thought you meant Raymond's brother from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Brad Garrett.
Yes.
Everybody doesn't love me.
But this one starts with Charlie putting the egg in the pod, and he gets stuck in the pod, and it ends up being in space for 53 years. But he doesn't age, which is, I didn't realize it would be a hyperbaric chamber, but it is. It's
Damn
so it's the year. It ends up being the year 2045 near Saturn. Yeah, Saturn.
Saturn. What happened to Perry Saturn's life? It got shattered.
A ship pulls in the pod, and then they go to a space station where they were doing experiments, which leads into the critters like enhancing themselves and becoming bigger.
Oh, man.
Steroids.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon got sued for it.
They end up getting vaporized with the station, and 3 of the heroes get away. That one was really bad. It was really bad. I mean, the movies progressively got worse, but I liked going back and watching them. And of course, Ninja Turtles did a reference to Critters. That was the movie that Raphael went to see.
Raph.
Said where do they come up with this stuff, which I think was pretty cool.
Yep.
But
Because that was 1991.
But it was fun to go back and watch them, but just to see how fucking cheesy they were, and I don't know how 4 of them actually got made, because they
5
couldn't
of
have.
them. There's a 5th out there. Right.
They couldn't have done
Ew,
well
he didn't
at
see
all.
the peanut butter.
That was a lot of peanut butter to not see. I had an accident on the fridge.
So basically, you're going around making kids get their ass beat. That's great. That's real nice
And
of
that
you.
one got his tooth knocked out.
Right. Oh my God. Look at this little kid. That's
You're a
nothing.
ginger. You're definitely getting
You're
your ass
done.
beat. Oh my lord.
Oh, both of you need it anyways. That one looks like Garrett.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Whoa.
Oh, what's going on there, little lady? You high five? You working?
Spearmintting?
All right, Doc Brown. I'll see you later. Love you.
But for me, it was way too much like Gremlins. It just had that. It's like they took the formula and just said we're gonna make the creatures different, a little different.
Now, are all the creatures the same?
Yes.
Or is
Oh
there
yeah, they're
different
all just
ones?
little balls.
Oh,
Yeah,
brown
it's
balls.
not like Gremlins where they had different, personalities and different,
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it was fun to go back and watch them.
If Furbies were vicious.
Yeah, pretty much.
I remember they got Furbies from. Probably the idea is something like that.
Right.
Oh, look at these cute little things. If we took the horrific ones and made them into friends, everybody'd want them. I.e. the Buddy doll. Killed people, slaughtered mothers, and raped fathers. I don't think that happened.
I would hope not.
He just drank pee or something. Ew. That wasn't what he just drank.
That's a great line.
How do you know what piss tastes like? Poor kid.
Piss in my apple juice.
That's gross.
That's the best line of this movie yet.
You got to get to the part where he says, "I'm not gonna say it." No.
That's what he says on
Is
the
there a better line? There's a better line.
It's later on. It's how he says, "I'm gonna have to pass, man. It's a big red X for me." Get it?
Oh,
Yeah, America's Got Talent. Is it
I'm gonna have to pass.
tough crowd? Tough crowd. Hey,
Rough one.
Jesus, you. No respect. No respect. Yeah. Oh, that shouldn't have went behind the TV. It's supposed to go in front of the TV.
Dave, are you all set?
I'm good, man.
You good?
There's not much more to say about those.
Okay.
I'm surprised I got that much out.
Alright. Next up for me is the Puppet Master.
Are we still good? We moving
Yeah,
over
we're
there?
good. We're good.
The Puppet Master.
Puppet Master.
These were some of my absolute favorites as a kid.
You might have to help me out with
Oh, I don't remember them that well. I
okay.
vividly remember them, but I remember there being the white-faced puppet with the knives for hands. There was Pinhead, who had like the big arms and the tiny little head. There was the guy that had the drill for a head.
Yeah.
There was like the marionette-looking puppet chick.
I have a list of them. Do you remember the one that was like a genie? 'Cause
No.
I didn't either until
I know there's like what 7 of these movies. There's a lot. There's a handful of them.
I thought I saw the number 12.
What?
Yeah.
12 Puppet Masters? I
there's
gotta
a-
look into it.
There's a new one that came out like
That's a lot of
last year.
That's a thing. Who the hell? Who?
That's gonna be one of the
I'm-
longest running.
No.
Yeah, there's 12 of them.
No. You're probably right.
All right, so it came out in 1989. Dave was just a little wee lad.
Yeah. I was just a little sperm.
He was a twinkle.
He was still swimming.
I was like, I'm a swimming. Eat your heart out, Nemo. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Right down the tube to the egg spot.
Yeah, I can bring you to the house of the girl you like. That's not creepy at all.
Right. This movie's sending the wrong messages. I still enjoy the shit out of it.
I do,
The
too.
makeup is really great. I really like that. His teeth. I always thought his teeth looked terrific.
It's about a group of people that are psychics who are plotted against by a former colleague.
That's the first one.
That's the first one. Using puppets animated by an Egyptian spell.
Yep, because it was an
As
old
you
man.
do.
It was an old
yeah,
man.
it was an old man.
It was the old man that looked like the old man from Luck of the Irish.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. I'm name drop
Yes.
Disney movies all day long, and you'll
I
get
wish
him.
I knew his name.
I don't know his name either, but he looked like him. He looked like the rickety old man of like, these are my prized
He's your and he
possessions.
licks his fingers. a
Yeah,
lot.
licks his fingers. He's got band-aids and
The
thimbles.
kind of guy you shouldn't trust at all.
Yeah.
Picture Toy Story 2 when Al takes Woody to go get his arm put on, and the old man.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's that guy, but disgusting and real. Right? It's that guy. He's like licking his fingers and thimbles and needles and threading, making creepy toys. Oh, that's cool looking.
So basically, the puppets get let loose out of this trunk, and there's a hotel that they're all like gathered in a hotel to destroy the puppets. These psychics are.
The what?
And
they're in that other room. They're
what's
gonna
the
stay
name
there
of the
for now.
hotel?
Yes, they stay there for now. Come here, who's died.
I don't remember. The something hotel.
Let me get you in here. Assailed by nightmarish visions, Alex Whitaker, Pat Lamat. That's not his name at all. It was Paul. I read too fast. Paul Lamat and his fellow psychics descend to the Bodega Bay Inn. There they discover that their compatriot Neil Jamie F. Skaggs, Boss Skaggs' little brother, has apparently committed suicide, but as the gruesome visions continue, they sense that there's still something sinister afoot. When they find themselves haunted by a band of homicidal marionettes created by a twisted puppeteer, Andre Toulon, William Hickey, they discover that they were right. How are you right about something you don't know? That doesn't make you right. That makes you confused. There he is, the big dirtbag monster.
Oh yeah, there's the villain. Using an Edgar suit.
He's Tumor. That's his name, was Tumor.
It's not a tumor.
They used to make monster people in suits like this so freaking cool back in the day.
Yep.
I mean, he's scary, but not super scary.
Shut your mouth. If he did that to you, I'd have pooped everywhere. Been like, you know what? I'm done. Kill me.
Pooped everywhere.
You got bottom teeth like that. You don't have anything good in your mind. Look at
Oh,
you trying to cut my eyes out.
looks like Beast from X-Men turned into a fucking meth head.
Yeah, went druggy. The cure didn't work. But I mean, it reminds me of like when Blade did their prosthetics, and it just you can see his head moving. And
You can see the hair.
Yes.
Yep.
But it's awesome.
Yeah.
And who was that actor? Do we know?
That is the limo driver from.
Oh my!
I don't ever rip that kid's head off.
Is it Louis Anderson?
No, it's the guy that was the limo driver in Blank Check.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Awesome. Should have known that.
See, like a movie like this could have existed as a cartoon series. Like it feels like this could have been in Beetlejuice's world.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Okay. So these movies have become a part of my October Halloween movie watching. Because there's 12 of them. And they progressively get worse. And there's new puppets.
You would think after 12 they would be the worst.
Yeah.
There
The
wouldn't be.
newer one's great. It has the guy from Reno 911 in it.
Yes, you're right. Officer Dangle.
Officer, he's gay.
Isn't it Dangle?
That's Dangle, yeah.
Is it?
John Lennon? No, John Lemon?
Lemon, yes.
Something like that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's good.
The new one's very gory.
Is it?
Yes.
Ooh, I have to check it out.
Very gory.
Does it have any of the original puppets?
Yes.
Have you seen this?
Yes. It's on Shudder. It was on.
Oh, you were telling me that you and your mom was watching Shut Up.
Shudder.
This is the game you're talking about.
Yes, Monster Ball.
Like, how did that not get made into a video game? Little Monsters Monster Ball.
Right. Home Improvement had a video game on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah. You like build houses.
Like, that would be a perfect, Super Nintendo game. Just, playing baseball but smashing shit as a monster. Yep.
I don't like
It wouldn't be hard to make either.
Oh, I like you. You're cool.
That's
creepy.
I don't think I've
Whoa,
ever...
you don't do that, kid.
I actually don't think I've ever seen any of the Puppet Master games.
I like the Puppet Masters much more.
I was gonna bring them. I'll let you borrow.
I think they're good. They are
I've
very.
like
All of them
9
are
of
gory.
them. Yeah, they are.
All of them are very gory because they're very innovative on how the puppets kill people.
There's one puppet named Leech Woman, and you can probably guess what Leech Woman does.
My favorite was Pinhead.
Yeah.
Just.
Did he have man hands?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
This guy, they're all probably this big, the puppets.
Yeah.
But Pinhead literally has a tiny little egg-shaped head.
Yep.
On human shoulders with human arms, and then these little puppet legs, And he literally will go up to people and just squeeze their heads and crush their heads.
He's insanely strong.
Yeah, and out of all the creative toys, that one is like my favorite one.
Yeah. Pinhead's great.
I like the guy with the drill for a head. I remember him.
Yep.
One of the moments where he's like
Tunneler.
Yes. Where he would literally tunnel through someone's ankles.
I got a picture.
Literally, he turned his head sideways and
had
had
your
a drill.
Achilles heel.
And he burrowed right into it.
Yeah.
What other ones were there? Jesus, I know there was the chick. Maybe the leech one. That's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah, leech woman.
There was like a clown, a clown jester with like. I don't even know. Oh, the cowboy with the 6 arms.
Yep, 6-shooter.
Yeah,
something.
That's really cool.
Is Pinhead on there? Oh yeah, he is. It's kind of hard to see, but he's right up there in the top corner.
Oh yeah.
Blade is the one that has like a sickle or the knife.
Right there.
Nice.
It's like a sickle.
6-shooter. I forgot about him. That's the leech chick.
Leech woman's nasty.
The marionette puppet. That one was the one I was thinking of. Who's the one?
Drill, dude.
Yeah, there's the tunneler. Who's the one with the metal head with the spike on his head? I don't remember that one.
Shredder Khan, maybe?
That's not. Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's one of the.
That's like Mortal Kombat.
Shredder Khan.
Dude, that's straight up Mortal Kombat Armageddon when I made Shredder in that game.
So, I don't know what to tell you.
Puppet Master.
And Genji or Genie or.
Samurai Gamgee. I'm trying to not.
There's
I
like
don't
a
know.
Going back to the potatoes.
Potatoes. Smash them, boil them, shove them up your eye. I don't know what to say anymore.
Right up your arse.
Ew.
But I want to say I had something about. Oh, this went straight to home video. Never made it to theater.
Which is surprising because the first one is very good. I think it is, anyways. Especially when like the chick and her boyfriend are in bed, and she's like, "You want to boot around?" And he's like, "Yeah." So then she's like starts to go down on him, and the next thing you know, you hear, and she's like, "Are you serious?
Are you really serious?
Are you serious?" And then she leaves, and then when she comes back, he's dead because he got his throat slit.
Yeah.
Right? That's what happened.
Totally.
I totally remember it.
Yep.
I love that first one. It's so good.
Direct to video. It says it right here. And it didn't. And it became a cult classic. Okay.
I'll attest to it. It's one of my favorite. I should own them, but I don't. But it's
I'll have to bring them in for you.
it's fantastic.
I'll watch them.
They're good.
I did not know there was 12 of them. I thought maybe like 6.
I might not watch all 12 of them, but
Yeah.
I would, only because I have no life.
Yeah, the puppets are great.
You feel in control? Cool little nugget about that. Ow!
Yeah, sound.
About that guy in that Bane movie there with the bat guy in it. The guy that do you feel in control? That guy right there that he does that to is John Daggett, who is the guy that creates Daggett Chemicals, who is the guy that creates the shit that Clayface used.
Really?
Yep. So that guy is a original Batman villain as well. John Daggett. Daggett Industries. That's why he wanted to buy Wayne Industries or whatever. Or not buy it, or get him out of the shares or something.
out.
Yeah, I don't really want to.
Buy them out.
Yeah. Little fun fact. Little fun fact.
But yeah, that's all I got on the Puppet Master.
Now, when did the last one come out? Last year? Within like a year or two, right?
It was like,
I feel like I remember seeing a trailer, but I don't recall it at all.
Yeah, it's on that Shudder site, and I'm sure it's at Walmart.
Well, I do have a little list of like some horror movies I would like to see if you could get.
Sure.
That would be one of them.
Sure.
The Babadook.
Oh, the Babadook.
You know what that is? I want to see the Babadook.
Yes.
Thought I had another one here. I think I actually already got it. I saw it the other day.
Babadook is cooler.
Okay, I don't have it. But the Babadook, that's what I want to see. So that's it on that?
Yeah.
Alright, I will take the helm. We're running into probably, I don't know, 2 hours or so. But the Halloween special, any specials we do are going to be a little extended.
because we started it way before we started the movie, so
Yeah.
But I do want to mention, because I did forget to do this at the top of the show, I want to mention the little segment that I do, the New to Blue.
New to Blue?
New to Blue and Not So Blue. That's what this is called, because sometimes you get movies that aren't on Blu-ray, right?
Yep.
Oh,
Drop mark.
new to my phone.
That's a good thing. Drop mark. And this will segue perfectly into my second topic. So, was at Walmart buying some stuff, you know, as a
For use.
pod god would do. You stupid idiots. I ended up picking up in the holiday horror season tradition of Jeepers Creepers 3.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, slow your roll, Tadpole. Not that good of a movie, I'll tell you now. It's kind of garbage.
It is kind of garbage.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
It was not good.
He got a lot of heat for that.
Yeah, because he was like a rapist or something.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, I don't support it, but I do support movies. Wasn't that great, but I have all three of them now, and I'm going to exclude this one from ever watching it again. Thank you for your opinion of the review. The next one that I bought, which I thought was very terrific, I was hoping it was the 4-pack, but I found the 3-pack
Oh, Scream.
of the Scream movies.
Yep.
Those are ones I really do enjoy.
I enjoy the first one so much because it is a love story to horror movies. Jamie Kennedy's character is just brilliant. But I know there's a fourth one. I've not seen the fourth one. I talked about 3C Films doing coverage of 5 Cream, which is the newest Scream movie. Which, as of right now, if anybody does like these movies and up to date, there is going to be a Scream 5, obviously. Nev Campbell is returning as Sidney Prescott. David Arquette is returning as Dewey. I don't know what the fuck his last name was. And Courtney Cox is returning as what was her? Gail Weathers.
Yep.
I don't know.
She still looks good.
She was so banging in the first one.
Yeah,
Oh my
she was.
lord! It makes me so mad that, and I'll say this out loud. It makes me so mad at that point in her life that people consider Jennifer Aniston hotter than her. Because she was smoking hot,
She was.
banging.
She was hot in Ace Ventura.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
same time frame, pretty
Yep.
much.
Yeah.
Super hot woman.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked to see her come back. I'm a big fan of these Scream movies. I really am. I've never seen the fourth one.
They're
So,
really good.
Have you seen the fourth one?
No.
I have not. So that'd be one if you.
Well, which one is
Emma
it where
Roberts.
they make the movie? Oh, no, I have to.
Yeah, the first one is in the town. The second one is there's the movie. They're
Yep.
starting to make the movie,
Okay.
and then the third one is like there's sequels to the movies and blah 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 blah.
Okay.
They're good.
Yeah.
Good. Good. Up next,
Jeepers.
season 4 of Rick and Morty. I'm not gonna go into detail of this because we will do a Rick and Morty episode at some point. So carry on. And then that's the creme de la creme. I bought Jackass 3D. It was only $3 on
cool.
Blu-ray. Why not? And for our viewing pleasure, it came with multiple pairs of 3D glasses.
We need
Nice.
to do that. That's
what?
sweet. We'll watch it together with those. Maybe.
Oh, the way he insinuates things. Oh, strawberries and cookies. For everybody?
Oh,
Who's
thank you.
Dave's?
Thank you.
Wow, we all got strawberries. You have enough? You have that many strawberries?
I love
I only have
strawberries.
2.
No, that's 3. See, 1, 2, 3. Ooh, strawberry milk. Yummy, deliciousness. No, I don't want that. That doesn't look like I want to drink it. That looked like a poop.
No, it's a chocolate.
Yeah, well,
chocolate.
That guy's head's upside down.
tomato, babe. And then I've never seen. I'll be honest. I've never seen Face Off.
No. Me neither.
Never. And I've never even heard of Snake Eyes. I'm going to assume this is the prequel to G.I. Joe. No?
Maybe.
I'm going to go with it. I don't know. Let's go into it open-minded, shall we? Okay. Like I said, I bought this 2-pack. Never seen either one of them. It's not a bad deal. But then this will go perfectly right into my next topic. I bought, because I don't have it, I didn't have it, I do have it, House of a Thousand Corpses. My next topic is Rob Zombie.
Oh.
Not only because of the movies, because of his music, his lifestyle, his whole everything. He is, I don't want to say Halloween, but he is spooky personified. Rob Zombie is. He's one of my top 3 favorite musicians of all time. I think I have almost all of his albums except for 2 or 3. He's supposed to be coming out with a new one next year. House of a Thousand Corpses, though, was his jumping off point for his movie career. What?
Do you remember when it came out, like in the theater?
No, I remember because I've always been a horror fan, always. And when this movie came out, I don't even remember the buzz of it, the word of it, other than it just being on the shelf.
Sure.
And then picking it up, and even watching it as a kid. I don't know, like 11? Or I was 12. It was, what the hell? Because it's not like a normal horror movie. It's not like any horror movie. Which makes it an instant classic and an instant one of those, this stands out. Like, Halloween was what it was for that generation and that genre. This is what it was for whatever. I don't even know. Like, over the top, like, murder porn.
Yes.
Basically.
And that's how he kind of views the whole genre.
Which, me being me, when I watch a horror movie or any movie with realistic traits or like anything, I think to myself, that's it? That's the limit? Like, when I'm watching Goodfellas and Joe Pesci stabbing that guy in the throat with a pen or a pencil or whatever, that is extreme over the top. Most gangsters, right? Now go with me. From what we've seen in movies or no, most gangsters are just going to walk up, plug you.
Sure.
Okay.
And then have somebody clean it up.
Right. That was realistic. Let's show that because, yeah, we're a gangster flick, but it's not just that. It's a little bit more.
Yep.
And that's what I think about horror movies, too. It's like, I don't need to see, like, rape and stuff like that in horror movies. But if you're going to base your whole premise off of terrifying, sinister concepts, go there.
Yeah, you make it depraved because that's what it would
Right.
be. Yeah.
And that's why, like, almost all of his movies were, like, NC-17 and they could barely ever be put in theaters and he always had to, like, reconstruct them to fit the bill of the theater's aesthetics and whatnot. But I haven't seen this movie in a long time. I feel like you told me this, but I don't remember it.
Sure.
We both know Rainn Wilson's in it.
Yes.
Did you know who his best friend was that's in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking Dead guy.
I didn't know that.
Chris Hardwick.
You might have told me that.
He yells, Dr. Satan!
When I'm watching it, he's fat in this.
Yeah.
He's heavier set in this movie. And he's got long hair. He's a stoner. And I'm like, that's Chris Hardwick. Are you serious? He was in this movie? Like, I did not realize that. Almost everybody that's in a Rob Zombie movie that's like a scary character reoccurs in his other movies. Like, I mean, I have almost all of them. There's House of a Thousand Corpses.
Ooh, did you find that one that you were looking for?
I thought I had it on Blu-ray, but I don't think I do. The only Rob Zombie movie I do not own is Salem's Lot. Because I heard it was trash. His very first one, House of a Thousand Corpses, then it kicked, I don't know where it actually went to next. But there was the sequel, The Devil's Rejects, which is probably
the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Halloween, his Halloweens are my favorite, but excluding those if they weren't existing in his universe.
Gold.
This is probably the best horror movie ever made.
Yeah.
I can't not say that. When that chick runs out of the hotel room with her husband's face on her face screaming and then gets smoked by an 18-wheeler, I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be shocked at. This whole thing just ripped my whole life apart.
Yeah, that movie's...
DDP's in it, which is
amazing.
Great. The 2 bikers, Danny Trejo and the other guy.
Yeah.
The other guy's Diamond Dallas Page, the wrestler.
Oh, man.
It's pretty cool. I always thought that was really sweet that those guys were in
Yeah.
it. Fantastic movie. And then he came out with 3 from Hell, which is the trilogy, the third part of this, which I didn't really love. I don't think it should have been called 3 from Hell because this guy's not anybody original at all. It was supposed to have Simon Haig in it, Captain Spaulding.
Yeah.
He's in the very beginning of it, but he died,
Yeah, really
like
sick.
in real life of making it and whatnot. So he's in it at the very beginning, which I thought they did good by that. I thought that was very well. They showed him in prison, then they show you, oh, he died while he was in prison, so that's why he's not here. Makes sense. That's a good way to write a character off.
Yeah.
And then they brought in the other person. Now, he always went with song titles. This is not a song title that I know of. 3 from Hell.
Oh. I know of.
I had a title for
Of
it.
his?
Yeah.
No.
And I can't remember what the hell the name of it is. Oh! Instead of the 3 from Hell, to me, this should have been called the Unholy 3. Because that's a name of his song. The Unholy 3.
Okay.
That should have been the name of this. I think that fits better than 3 from Hell. Because he just... Yeah, okay, they're horrible people, but like, where does he come from? You had the whole Firefly family in all these movies with different cousins and shit. But this guy, I don't know. But I like...
that one?
Yeah. I like all 3 of them. I do. Devil's Rejects is by far the best of the best. He came out with 31, which I think is a fantastic movie. It's not... You're not going to watch this for the story. You're going to watch this because you like the blood and guts, you like the twisted, where are they going to go with this? It's all about 3 aristocratic people, hoity-toity, uptight people, that hire wackos to kidnap people, bring them to this giant abandoned factory, and each part of the factory is set up like a different stage, and you have to survive. I don't know what the 31 is. On Halloween, 5 carnival employees are kidnapped and held hostage in an isolated compound known as Murder World. They are thrown into a sadistic game called 31 where they must survive 12 hours. Okay. 12 hours against a gang of maniacs dressed like clowns. However, the clowns aren't the only ones they need to worry about. A grand scheme of satanic rituals and much more sadistic plot awakens. The characters, the bad guys, all of them, they're all more and more appalling as the movie goes on. It's like vile at times, like straight vile. There's a midget that dresses like Hitler.
Oh God!
With clown face paint on. Only speaks Spanish. He speaks Spanish the entire time, but he's dressed like a midget Hitler. Well, he is a midget. He's dressed
Does
like
he do subtitles or just no?
No. So like everybody's running from him because he's like basically like this psychotic murderer.
Right.
And everybody's running around. And he's like, ay ay ay, ay ay, like yeah. And he's like just clanking his knives on doors and stuff. And he's like, si bueno. Like it's just creepy and weird. It's kind of hysterical.
Wow.
But then when it gets into it, I mean, there he is right there in the cover.
Yep.
Bueno.
It's a messed up movie.
Biblioteca.
Yeah, it's a messed up movie. You're going to die, señorita. It's just a messed up movie. I enjoy the hell out of that. But these are my 2 favorite Rob Zombie's Halloween and Halloween 2. I think Halloween 2 is a little because it gets weird with the spiritual symbolisms of the white horse. I don't know what the hell that really means. I know it's some kind of fucking thing. But this first Halloween.
Yeah, I have to watch it. I own it.
Have you seen it?
No.
You've never seen this?
No.
I didn't go to theaters to see this with my buddy Derek. But my buddy Derek was with me watching this, and we had to turn it off at the scene where Michael is killing his sister in the beginning because it was so unsettling to him. He started having an anxiety attack. And it's uncomfortable because it's those things for me in horror movies. It's not so much the monster, it's not so much the grotesque murdering. What bothers me is you lingering on something that's uncomfortable, making me endure or endear.
It's a psychological thing.
Yeah, like Hereditary. I thought that movie was awful. But you saw it, right? But when the son kills the daughter and he goes home, if you've never seen Hereditary, I don't really know what the hell the movie's about other than it's like a cult.
Oh yeah.
It's weird. But the son is, I don't know if he's all messed up, but he's out driving his mom's car in the middle of the night, and his sister is with him, and she's got like her head like hanging out the window like, and he smacks it off like a pole. and just
He swerves to miss a deer and
yeah,
bam!
and it rips her head right off. And at that moment, to me, that was the most intense moment in the movie.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you're like,
oh yeah, you're shitting your
and
pants.
for like a good 5 minutes, they leave it on him. You see the sister's body hanging out the window in the back, but the camera just stays on him, just gripping the wheel, him expressionless. You're looking at him like now you're feeling that. Oh God.
Yeah, you're
It's
like
not just
sick
that
to
happening
your
quick.
stomach.
Cut to the next scene.
Yep.
Then the very next that whole thing, when they show him drive the car into the driveway, they show him it's nighttime, everybody's sleeping.
Yeah.
He walks up into his room. He's laying there in his bed, and you are like the camera never breaks. And then you see it come sunlight. You hear the mom get up, starting the day. You hear her go outside or whatever, and then you just see her or hear her scream.
Bloody murder.
And you see his face just motionless, just staring into the camera, and you're right there with it. That is uncomfortable to me. So in Halloween, that's a scene. Basically, when he is murdering his sister, it's a long, stretched out scene where you're just right there with them. You don't get to turn away. The camera doesn't cut. You don't get to avert your eyes. You're
there.
Yeah. I don't remember this guy.
Do a little bit.
Is he like the main monster?
I don't know.
He looks like his skin's gross.
He's like in a Egger suit.
Yeah, for sure. But Rob Zombie, I mean, he's done a shit ton of albums.
Oh yeah, White Zombie.
Right, his original White Zombie.
Good stuff.
Hillbilly Deluxe, Hillbilly Deluxe 2,
Yeah.
Sinister Urge, Venomous,
Rap Regeneration Machine or something.
Warlock.
Like that.
Yeah, that one. That's a tongue twister. That's disgusting. Yeah, I bet that smells horrible. Ooh, that's sinisterly
It is
dark.
sinister.
Imagine if that got him. That's straight up.
Yeah.
You're gonna. Yeah.
This is like a horror movie, but trying to masquerade as a kids movie.
For sure. There's very dark
Yeah.
implications.
He's the one that has little Corey Matthews, right?
The one that
Is he like the
kidnapped him.
boogeyman? They're gonna show the back of his head and it's all exposed. I don't remember this guy. That's disgusting.
That's nasty.
Anybody that's ever seen Hellraiser and seen their prosthetics and shit, like that's really Hellraiser-ish.
He's got the face is tied on, covering his actual face.
Right.
That's yeah.
How do none of us remember this?
I don't remember this at all.
I remembered the big blue guy.
Yep.
I hope they show what he really looks like. You know, kind of like Howard the Duck. When the scientist by the end of it turns it like as he progresses, I love all of that prosthetic look and shit like
Yep,
that. I think
great.
he's fantastic. Like, oh, so stuff like this, the makeup, even on his hands, like the exposed wounds on his palms, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I enjoy that very much. But yeah, Rob Zombie's had a crap ton of CDs and whatever. He's done a couple of cartoon movies. I can't remember it. Something Beast. I can't remember the name of it at all. But I thought Rob Zombie, for me personally, would be a good pick for someone in his movies to kind of discuss for the horror theme.
If you haven't heard a Rob Zombie song, like, where have you been?
Right. I mean, I remember being a kid and hearing... Oh, no. What is the name of it now? I can't think of the name of the song. No. Was it? Which one did they use in Chucky? Bride of Chucky.
Ooh.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Is it Super Beast?
Oh, maybe Living Dead.
Red Red Groovy.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Never Gonna Stop. Red Red Groovy.
Oh.
That's like the...
It was a remix of it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. Because they put that one on the forcible entry as Edge's,
For Edge's
and
music.
he didn't even use that version of it.
And then when they brought Rob Zombie on, actually we mentioned it, WWE, yeah, they oh yeah, he's gonna peel his skin off, cool. They endorsed or whatever, used Rob Zombie's song. Like you said, he never even used it or whatever. Or no, he did.
He didn't use that version.
That
of
version.
It. Yeah.
I do remember in the game WrestleMania 19, that was his song. for the game on the GameCube. That was what, 2003?
Probably.
If that was WrestleMania 19.
Yep.
So then, but it was like 2008 or whatever. They were doing like special guests on like SmackDown or Raw. I'm not even sure which one it was anymore. But they had Rob Zombie via a guest, which had him and Edge have some words. But if you never knew he used his music for
it would
like,
make no
like
sense.
6 months, you would have no idea why that mattered.
Yep.
Oh, gross!
Dude, that's awesome.
Your poop face,
It's like Krang.
right?
I don't remember this movie being this
Sinister.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, he's like Crane. Ninja Turtles! Yeah! Man, poop face!
Ah.
Oh, you're disgusting,
Dude, that's
poop
nasty.
face.
I can see why you had that covered up.
Yeah, put it back. So, other than that, though, for my Rob Zombie talk, I think that sums it up, because I don't really know anything else about the guy. I think your wife is sexy.
His wife is.
I think if they had put a Harley Quinn in the Dark Knight movie with Heath Ledger, I think Sherry Moon Zombie would have been a perfect Harley Quinn. I think she looks just like her. She acts just like her.
Baby.
Baby! Her voice is her. She doesn't have big boobs, but I don't care. She's super hot.
Very hot.
And in Halloween, I think you get to see her boobs because she's a stripper.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I do enjoy his brother's band, Power Man 5000. Spiders
Oh,
on
Which
it.
we have to
Wow,
say
I
that
didn't
is
know
our since day one. I don't know if it's for every episode that you put it in, but majority of the episodes have. What the fuck is the name?
Worlds Collide.
There we go.
Yeah.
I want to say best of both worlds, but that's not it.
But lately I've been putting in like you wanted
snippets or whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
I listened to whatever wrestling one you just put up or whatever, and it had that intro in it. I left a comment on one of the YouTube things, the video, because I liked it. I thought that intro sounded perfect.
Yeah.
But what it should do after, if you can do that, if we could have like that same song, the Power Man 5000 song. So when that cuts away and the guy goes, "And are you ready?" or whatever he says, and it cuts to like us. If you could play for like 15 seconds or 20 seconds the Power Man 5000 song underneath,
I think
us,
I can do that.
to like playing us into it. You know what I mean? So it's not cut. But other than that, I love it. I really did.
That's why I picked it as my intro for when I was doing radio.
I do.
It hit so well.
It does. It really freaking does.
With the way it ends with him saying, "Are you ready to go?" I would go right into a real upbeat song.
That's why I thought it was part of like that Megadeth song.
Yeah.
Because I listened to a lot of Megadeth, and it sounded exactly like something that would be in like a heavy metal band's song, like Pantera or something would have that weird shit. It is. It's badass. I love it.
I remember that being in a Tony Hawk game.
The intro?
Power Man.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah, they were big for a
Great
little
song.
bit, and
Let
then
me see if I can get what we're talking about. You can listen to it real quick.
Okay.
Because it is sweet.
Yeah, it is.
It's pretty badass. I won't lie. And I was thinking we should come up with maybe like a new logo. Not a new logo, but something that just goes with that.
You know, I was thinking of doing a video of us doing something, but with no sound, and then having that over it or underneath it. You know what I mean?
Could you put like the Comic Wrestling Podcast logo like in the forefront in front of us during a video, or no? Like
I don't know. I might be able to. I don't know.
I like that
but-
idea. That's really clever. Come on, you piece of junk.
I never knew that was his brother. Rob Zombie's brother.
Yeah.
Wow. Sounds a lot like him. Though.
While you're doing that.
Absolutely, we'll carry on. I think it was your turn to come up, but
Yes.
we'll carry it. It was right here. The Wrestling International Incident. Oh man. Come on, play.
Yeah, I own the Halloween zombie, but I've never. I've seen it.
All right. This is our intro for the YouTube videos.
Spinning complacently in the darkness, covered and blinded by a blanket of little lives. False security has lulled the madness of this world into a slumber. Wake up, and eyes upon you, staring straight down and keen
And then it should have like a bit of music to kind of play
Yeah.
that into, right? But that's awesome.
What's that from?
I don't even know what you have to tell you.
Wicked. It's building up. Like
It is. It was
damn.
perfect.
Oh, there goes Poop Face.
Oh, Poop Face just melted into poop!
Dude, these kids are awesome with these lights. Wow, I don't remember one of this.
Here we go. 3C Films responded to my comment on his 5 cream. He goes, haha, thanks for the support, brother. Which, I'll have to get his email and send the shirt to him. But, so yeah, that intro is pretty sweet, right? And then if it had, like,
Very
music to
cool.
play it down into instead of just straight cut,
Yeah.
that'd be perfect. And yeah, you come up with, like, we'll sit down and come up with some kind of video where it's, like, just us bullshitting or doing something ridiculous or whatever off the cuff.
If we could get like a beach ball sized fucking eyeball, because it says an eye is upon you, like
That would be
you know,
sweet.
you know what I mean? Something like that
Well,
would be, I think, would be fucking cool.
Would you be down to
Ben Stein.
just, I don't even know, I will come up with something. Because right now I'm just thinking of like, I don't even know. The eyeball, yeah. Yep, we'll come up with something for that for sure.
Because I thought, you know, doing it, not just having our logo, but a video with that intro,
Right,
you know, with
exactly.
it. I thought, you know, with us not speaking or anything, but just, you know, I thought
And-
that would be really cool.
And it's time we update it a little bit in a
Yeah.
way. So yeah, absolutely. And even if it's as simple as we can make it, we'll still do that because that's a great idea. I think it's on to you, brother.
Alright. So my third pick was Tremors, which they did 6 of them, which I enjoyed these. I really did.
There's 6 of them?
There's 6 of them.
Wow, there was like 4.
But the first one had Kevin Bacon, Fred Ward, Reba McEntire, and Michael Gross.
Yep.
And Michael Gross was in all of them. He was the crazy gun
The
nut.
gun dude, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
Reba's husband.
the grandpa from Three Ninjas was the stereotypical Asian store owner.
My store! My store to come and destroy everything! I can picture him with his Popeye.
Yep.
I saw you gremlins, don't get them wet!
Yep.
I don't know if that's the
Who's
same
the
guy.
chicken?
Is it the same guy? In Gremlins?
I don't know if it was or not. It might have been.
Revelations here.
Who was the chick in the Tremors?
Reba.
Reba McEntire.
Oh, there was like a Kevin Bacon had a little.
Oh, like the
cutie
hot
pie.
little love interest chick.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't
her
know.
name.
Okay.
But
She was cute.
it's the town of Perfection, Nevada. Of course, a small town that, you know, is isolated.
But I have to give this. It would make sense that something like that would happen in the desert when you have desert worms.
Right.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
just aliens landed here
Yep.
Yeah.
and it just happened to be in this podunk backwoods town.
Yep. And they end up calling them graboids. And they start
Graboids.
sucking people into the ground. They use sound and
Vibration.
seismic
Vibration.
activity. That's how they originally discover them, is the seismic activity.
I can picture that. It's been so long since I've seen these. I can picture the
Yep.
just chasing somebody and they're
Yep.
running. Get on a rock or something!
Yep.
You
That's
know?
the thing.
So-
They have to stay on.
And then
the
they have their
rock.
long orange like tongues, and then when they blew up, they look like the inside of a pumpkin.
Yep. The first one they kill, they lure it to ram itself into a concrete
Into a
embankment,
concrete,
yeah.
and it just oozes out. And that's the one that
Smashing
they
its
end,
head open.
they end up keeping.
This
the-
right here, that looks like a Godzilla mouth.
Yeah.
Or that looks like Starship Troopers
Yeah.
alien mouth.
They use a bulldozer to escape, and they throw bombs at them
Bombs.
as they're doing
Yes.
it.
That first one's badass.
Yeah. They lure the last one off a cliff, which I think is it just.
Yup, you
oh,
see
yeah.
it.
Yeah, you see
Yep.
it just pile it.
Yep.
Oh.
Mass
Um,
orange goo.
The second one is called Aftershocks. The only one, well, I mean not the only one, but Fred Ward is in that one too. They hire him to go graboid hunting in Mexico, and he's supposed to get $50,000 for each one that he kills.
Fred Ward.
Okay.
Fred Ward is Joe Dirt's daddy. Joe Dirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he brings in Bert with high explosives to help. In this one, the graboids start evolving. They turn into shriekers, which can actually walk.
Can't some of them
And
at
then-
some point they have them they fly?
Yep.
That's when I
But
stopped
they
watching.
use
Oh.
they don't use seismic activity. They have infrared sensors on the top of their head, so they go by body heat in this one.
No way.
Yeah. And they're hermaphrodites who can they give birth after they eat, so they just like puke up a baby. So every time they eat, there's more of them, which is actually kind of funny.
Is that what hermaphrodite means?
Hermaphrodite means
You have
puke
both
up
sexual
babies?
organs.
you're a girl with boy parts.
But in this one, they lock them into a garage and use
Wouldn't it
explosives to kill them.
would it be hermaphrodite or asexual?
They call them hermaphrodite in it, so I'm going with
I'm not gonna call any monster hermaphrodite. I feel like that's a monster in its own right.
Yeah.
The third one, they go back to Nevada. The only person that's really in this one is Bert, the Michael Gross character. The Shriekers evolve into the Ass Blasters, which are the ones that can fly.
Yeah.
See, that's when you lose me, is when you take a scary monster and then you start calling it an ass blaster.
Yep. There's a guy that's doing tours where like they're just blowing like fire extinguishers up to make it look like there's the stuff under the graboids underground and shit. This one they lure it into the concrete thing of Bert's house. That's how they kill one of them. There's an albino one that is sterile for some reason, and they use that as an excuse that the government can't take over the town because there's still one there. So for some reason the government can't take it over, which is fucking weird.
What are they, Indians, and they have rights to the land?
I get that they can't use eminent domain as long as there's one still there or something, but.
Squatters'
it's
rights
weird.
for a monster that kills people? That's bizarre.
But at one point, Bert
No
gets
wonder
like,
our system's messed up.
yeah, Bert's in a barrel, and he gets eaten by one of the graboids, and one of the guys cuts him out with a chainsaw, so he survives it.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
And I thought, they smell bad on the outside.
did I go? Okay. 4 is actually a prequel.
What?
It's
Cool.
It's the Wild West. It's 1889.
Is Bert like a gunslinger cowboy?
He's the guy that owns the mine. He's like, yeah, and
Why would he have not have been a gunslinger?
Do they ever give a backstory of where these things come from?
they do.
Cool.
It's a western mining town. They call the Indians call them dirt dragons.
That
Dirt
sounds
dragon.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call you that.
Yes.
The Dirt Dragon, ladies and gentlemen.
The guy Bert, he hires a gunslinger to try to kill them.
Wouldn't that have just made sense of why Bert, he has an obsession with guns? Is because it follows back to like his great granddaddy?
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
Like that's the Ninja Turtle 3 problem.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Go back in time. If you're going to the ancient Chinese dynasty, have that emperor be the catalyst of the family patriarch of the emperor of Shredder at some point.
Right. Yep. But they use a huge elephant gun and then like a steam engine to like pull one of them.
I feel like that elephant gun is a callback to the original one. Didn't they use an elephant gun in that?
You
He
go
used
into
the
a
smaller
gun room.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You went in the wrong room, motherfucker.
Yeah. I do remember.
5 is called Bloodlines. They get hired by this like poacher to go to South Africa. This is the first one with Jamie Kennedy in it. The poacher steals an
Don't say that.
egg,
He was good in Scream.
and the Ass Blasters are trying to
Shut the fuck up.
trying to get the egg back. Kennedy ends up going into the nest, which is actually kind of cool, and he blows some of them up. There's a kitchen scene that's almost exactly like fucking Jurassic Park, like even down to like the tapping of the
wicked.
Like when the kids
the
eat
claw.
Jello.
Yeah, like they're literally hiding from one of them in the kitchen and shit. Yeah.
Sam Neill shows up. Things get confusing.
And they use lightning to kill them all. They like set a perimeter up with like all electrical stuff.
Okay. All right. I get it on that. That's a little creative, I guess.
And 6 is called A Cold Day in Hell. This research team finds graboids in the Arctic.
Nice.
And they in one of them they find out that it's there's a fossil of the spines that they use to move, and they're pre-Cambrian. They were like the first species on the planet. That's how they're not aliens. They're actually
Are these
actually
kids crawling out
evolved.
of a man?
Underneath them.
What?
In this one, they find out that Bert was infected by the graboid when he was inside it. So he has a disease, and it's like eating him from the inside. So he's
turning into a
dying.
graboid?
No, he's got a disease where it's like a parasite inside him that's slowly killing him.
Because he's like the main guy you're supposed to be.
So they need one alive so that they can get some stuff from like it's like
Trying to make
gland.
a cure or something.
Yep. They set a trap using a huge shipping container, and they pull one of them by a plane, and they pull it into the shipping container, and then they just slide these rods in and just skewer it to keep it in the shipping container. And then Jamie Kennedy's character climbs in to extract the stuff, climbs in the mouth to extract the stuff from the gland.
Why not just cut it open?
Because, well, I don't know.
Does it have, maybe it has to be alive?
Yeah, they say it, and
Fuck that.
and then they kill it to keep it from the government because the government wanted to use it for
I just said kill it, and then you're like, well, it had to be alive.
well,
then
and
kill it.
after they kill it,
That's
so the government can have it. But I really liked them.
Injured.
They did get cheesier as they went along, but not like Critters cheesy.
Did
but-
Ben? Jesus Christ, Kevin Bacon ever make a return?
Nope.
Yeah.
You would have thought he would have. Just come and get Footloose or something. You know, with some of these big graboids.
But I really did like them. I liked how they evolved so it wasn't just the same creature. I mean, they kept the graboids through all of them,
but they gave them more development.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like some horror movies where they don't progress. You know what I mean? So that I really liked them. I binged watched them straight back to back. I really liked them.
I think the first Tremors is like on my top 10.
It really is a good movie.
It is.
It really is well done.
Dang, that's good.
And
When it's
there's not a
destroying
lot
that
of
store, I love that.
there's not a lot of killing, but
It's suspenseful.
Yeah,
because you don't even know. You don't understand. Because when that movie came out, I remember being very little. Not like traditional horror movies. It's a giant worm under the ground.
Yep.
It's not a stalker slasher trying to kill you, where it's like, all right, well, we can breathe easy today because like it's daylight and he's not stalking us. With that, it's like you're consistently not knowing what to do.
yeah.
Right.
And like you said, there's not really a lot of killing. Like, yeah, a couple people get eaten. It's not over the top, if anything. I remember like these monsters eating people and like burping up like their shoes and shit.
Yeah. It's more like trying to get away from them and trying to kill them. Yeah. Yep.
Like this movie, I feel like the original Critters, Ghoulies, the Puppet Masters, those are like what would be on the Sci-Fi Channel when it was really good in the 90s. And when movies like this, the original one, and those movies were on the Sci-Fi Channel, that to me was like, these are like the best movies of all time. Like this channel is the best channel for these kind of movies. It's not so much now. Like
No.
Tremors, it's a ridiculous idea of like these giant worms eating people, but it's done better, it's presented better, it's executed better, way more than like these Sharknado movies.
Oh yeah.
And shit
At
like
least this
that.
is plausible.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yep.
like most of those kind of modern horror movies where it's the same idea of a little critter really is the main antagonist. They're so ridiculously unbelievable now, opposed to there could be giant worms that live in the Nevada desert.
desert.
Right. And nobody's heard of them before because it's such a remote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you got piranhas and sharks and alligators
Going
inside
around
of a
the tornado,
tornado,
yeah.
with
Yep.
chainsaws and dressed like clowns just to scare every fear you have.
Can't even watch
Stupid.
the first movie. I can't
Dumb.
finish Sharknado.
I can't even try it.
When they go in the house and the house is filling up,
Don't even know.
and then they leave the house and there's no water around the house.
That's
It's like,
stupid.
what? What logic is that?
There is none. That was just to make
Well,
a quick buck.
Connie,
and-
let me tell you, when you go into a horror movie and you got a tornado, just stick to the movie Tornado. You don't need to put no fucking alligators and sharks or Twister.
Twister.
Sorry,
yeah.
Connie, Twister. It doesn't make a lick of sense.
It's like you took the
Helen
concept of
Hunt.
the cow flying around from Twister and just made, we'll do a shark.
And you gotta know what you're. I mean, I know those movies don't take themselves serious, but they should never even been made. No. But Mark, I think does that wrap it up?
Yeah,
for you
yeah.
three?
There's really not much more to say. but
All right, Marky
they,
Mark.
They kind of explain themselves.
Your last,
Right.
your last topic, Bubbers.
So, from my last topic, we're gonna go into the world of video games. Computers.
Oh.
The last thing I chose was The Seventh Guest computer game. Have you guys ever heard of The
I
Seventh
don't
Guest?
have a goddamn computer. I have no idea what this is. Is this the demo?
Demo?
The demo game where you're like first person and everything's scary and creepy and monsters and ghosts, and you're walking through like a creepy house.
Yeah. Did I saw you down?
No, I saw it on somebody's YouTube because it was like a short-lived demo and they're bringing it.
It's a point and click.
Is that what it is? They're bringing it. It's on the PlayStation 3 right now, and they're bringing it back to like the PlayStation 4. There's something out that's like creepy as fuck, and people are saying it's like one of the scariest games ever made.
No, this came out in the 90s.
Ah.
This came out. So this is a game that made by Virgin Interactive Entertainment. It came out April 1993. Dave was just a wee lad again. It was one of the first games to be released on CD-ROM.
That, for all of you people that were born before 2005, that stands for compact disc.
They used to make those.
Right. And I'm talking to you people like you're idiots, because as I grew up, people talked to me like that about cassette tapes. Now it's my turn.
So the reason I picked this game...
I got a question first.
Yeah.
What's the reason you picked this game?
The reason I picked this game is because it scared me so much as a kid. I would play this game at our friend's house, and a friend of the family's, Melinda and Tori. I'm gonna do a name drop.
Melinda and Tori.
Yes, they were older than me, and were not as afraid as I was. But I remember walking outside, hearing noises from the game in my head, and trees like mixing in, like wind blowing, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to run. And I would run so fast.
I can picture you being very scared.
I was a very terrified, and the game isn't that scary.
I don't doubt it.
It's a very bad puzzle game. It's super hard, but yeah. I urge you both to watch the opening.
I'll watch it later.
Cinematic.
Cinema is more of a theater.
Okay.
I think.
Yes, I agree. The game is about a doll maker named Stoff.
We already talked about Puppet Master.
He makes Stoff dolls, and everybody wanted a Stoff doll. But then all the kids started to get sick. After they
Is
had
this Are You Afraid of the Dark?
doll.
Are you telling a story right now?
No,
I'm
I'm
scared.
And they started dying. So Stoff retreated into his house and never came out.
So your goal is to go in there and find him?
So your goal is to stay the night in stay 12 hours through the night in the Stoff Manor, and you will win money.
Who the fuck is giving you money? What is this, a goddamn contest?
If you can survive.
Local news channel putting on a contest. Anybody that can stay in the house of a murdering child murderer for 12 hours gets $36,000 in coupons.
If you survive the night.
And Bob Barker's hosting.
Right. Vanna White's presenting the check.
And do puzzles. You have to solve puzzles, unlock doors, find your way through the mansion. I never beat the game because there's a maze that will destroy you. Even with a map, it's hard.
I'm pretty good at mazes.
Okay, we'll try it out.
First time I went to the maze over in Schuylerville, we were in there for 2 hours because it was just huge. Second time I went there, we were in there for 45 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
We were in and out. Boom, bang, boom. I knew where we were going. It also helped that I went in there with a machete and just ran straight through.
You just cut all the corners.
Yeah. They say take the path less traveled, right? Well, if there hasn't been one traveled on at all, I'd say that's the best path to take.
So you play as Ego, his name is. And
Kurt Russell. I was thinking Kurt Russell as well.
Yeah, right? You play... you don't really know much about Ego, but I want to say there's another person. So there's 7 people, and then one kid sneaks in. And his name is Tad. And he's in... So they made 3 of these games. There's the 11th Hour, That's the sequel, and then there's the 13th Doll. That's the new one that came out like last year.
And are they all three of them are the same? Or are you trying?
Yeah,
to
they're
say
all
this-
puzzle games.
Yeah, but what is the story of the other two?
The second one's got like a cop who done it. They're looking for stuff. And
Do I win any money?
no. And then the third one, you play as either Tad, who's a kid that is just he's in a psychotic
I don't want to play as anybody.
asylum.
Tad.
And then you can play as the psychiatrist guy who's. There's two different stories.
Do you win money?
No, there's no money. You're just trying to like solve the puzzles and find stuff.
Yeah, I'll find stuff. Look around, you see stuff everywhere.
Stuff.
Yeah, what did I say? Stuff. Am I saying it any different? I'm enunciating the A and the U. Stuff.
They use like live. It's like
Mortal Kombat.
what is it? Yeah, like that.
Stop motion. You know. I know what you're talking about.
I think it's in here.
But
But it's very ghosty. Everything is
pre-rendered 3D graphics. I know that's exactly what you're talking about.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bill Gates
Because
said
they were pre-created and then put into the game.
Bill Gates called 7 Guests the new standard in interactive.
Yeah, well, Bill Gates wants people to put a vaccine in their body that has little fucking nanobites that are going to kill
no
you.
thanks.
I don't want to do that.
No thanks, Bill.
Give me my game Xbox toy cube box 3 Series 1 and I'm good. That was like all Xbox names. I don't
There's
even know.
some
Those
adult scenes.
Well,
some-
what do you mean? Kids are getting killed in it. How more adult could that get?
There's a very it's a PG game, but there's a sex scene that involves moaning and ghostly shadows.
Ooh, kind of like Ghostbusters.
And there's some old people in that house that are like, oh, we're gonna do it on the pool table.
Ew, I don't
Yeah.
want to play that game.
Yeah.
What game is that? Leisure Larry? Leisure Suit Larry?
Laser shoot, yes.
Oh yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh yeah.
I never
That was banned in Australia.
I never played it.
I think. But I guess that's all I have for the 7th guest.
I've never heard of it, so that's a good one to bring up just because I wanted to do the Resident Evil games, but I feel like I've talked about those before in the past, so I didn't want to do those. But,
It's one of my favorites.
so my last, to round it out, my last topic is, I know I told you the 3 that I was going to do. I was going to do Murderers,
Yeah, you did.
but I didn't.
You changed it.
Well, no, I had these original ones at first, and then I couldn't think of it, so I just said something. His name is Stephen King, and he is a world-renowned American author from Maine.
And he's fucked up in the head.
He's a little twisted
Yeah.
like a pig's tail, but some of the best bacon comes from the best pigs. Right?
Yeah.
It always, in my head, I always picture that scene after I say things with Lawrence Taylor saying, and that brings us to our next lesson, don't do drugs. So, before I get into the Stephen King thing though, just speaking of Adam Sandler and that, Waterboy movie, he has a new Halloween movie on Netflix called Hubby.
Yeah.
I heard it was terrible.
I'm not watching.
I don't want to see it. I heard it was really bad.
He's doing some bad stuff.
I think Kenan Thompson's in it.
Yeah, there's a lot of them in it. Kevin James is in it, is like the sheriff and shit. There's a crap ton of people in it, but I guess there's callbacks in the movie to like Waterboy and other movies.
Wow.
So now he wants to do a Happy Madison universe, which it's not gonna work unless you recreate those characters again and redo them now.
Yeah. You're too old now.
And
buddy.
you never hinted at anything prior. Like I don't know, but whatever. I know he's got that Halloween movie out. Figured to do a plug for there. Fuck you, Sandman. So Stephen King, Back when I was a kid, Stephen King was pretty prominent in the 90s as a horror icon for books, and then books turned into miniseries. And yeah, it's a thing. And movies is. Mark, what was the very first Stephen King movie or show you ever saw?
I would have to say, the made-for-TV episodic show, Red. Rose Red. That's the one.
Really? That's the first one you saw?
Yeah.
How old are you?
33.
You're 3 years older than me, and the first fucking Stephen King thing you saw was Rose Red?
Yeah, I think.
You were 16 when that movie came out. You were 16 the first time you saw anything Stephen King?
Yeah. I didn't see Silver Bullet until like 3 years ago.
That's my favorite one. Silver Bullet's so good.
It is
That
good.
werewolf is terrifying.
very
When they're in the swamp,
yeah.
and you just see his arm come up and he
Yes.
rips people's faces off and rips them into the fog. I was like, oh, that's so scary.
Have you seen the one with Christopher Walken? There's one with Christopher Walken.
Stephen King one?
Yeah.
No, I've never seen it.
He's a detective.
No. No.
I'll have to get back to you. I'm sorry.
I prefer
Did he stab him in the face with a soldering iron?
You're talking to my... You know what? He's not even my friend. Fuck you. Sean William Scott in The Rock. That was a...
Oh yeah.
I think he was like the.
I
I think he was like the least Christopher Walken in that movie than any
felt
movie
like
I've ever seen him.
He wanted to just shout the N-word in that movie. He looked like a plantation owner.
But he wasn't doing the voice like he normally
No,
does.
he was like a
wasn't-
prick.
Yeah.
Rock! You fuck!
What was the name of that movie?
The
Rundown.
The Rundown.
Come on! You
Sorry.
know?
I remember.
Why are you so stupid?
Why
Why?
That movie
So-
sucked.
I think, Dave, do you ever watch any Stephen King movies?
Cujo?
Oh, there you go,
I think Cujo was probably the first one.
Well, how old were you? Were you
wow.
16 when you saw it?
No, I wasn't. No, I remember seeing that as a kid and it terrified me and I never wanted to see another St. Bernard for the rest of my life.
That was kind of freaky.
That's true.
I think the scariest part, and they definitely go for it in that movie, is the fact of, I don't even think so much the dog, it's just like the mother's like freaking out because her kid's dying in the car.
Yeah.
It's like, I gotta hear
He
it.
had to be asthmatic.
Oh, yeah. There had to be an asthmatic kid on the fucking farm.
Had to have it as his inhaler. God, kid, breathe, will ya?
Penis. What? I don't know. I think the first Stephen King movie I feel like I ever saw was Pet Sematary. I know for a fact it was the first Stephen King book I ever read. It's the only Stephen King book I've ever read.
I've never read one.
Hands down, it's the only one. My mom had it. I remember being a kid. She'd always be standing in the bathroom getting ready for work, and she had a bookshelf right outside the bathroom with all of her books on it, and she had almost every Stephen King book.
Wow.
And I would sit there and harass her till like the whole time she was getting ready for work. And in doing so, as I got a little bit older, I started paying more attention to the books in front of me, looking at the covers of them. I remember looking at It, which was like this fucking thick, and it was a white book, and it had the gutter drain on it, and you saw like the creepy little like 3-fingered green hand coming up out of the drain. She had Carrie, she had all of them. Pet Sematary though jumped out to me. The cover of that book was, look it up, would you, if you can?
Yeah, I'm gonna totally.
It was Church the cat, right up, like I mean, right up to the cover of the book. And then behind it was like a silhouette or whatever of like the cemetery and shit. And I just remember staring into that cat's, because the cover of it had like a 3D print to it, so you could feel it bub out. And the cat, I just remember staring into its mouth, just being like, this is scary. I want to read this. And at that point in my life, I was really big into Goosebumps, and those books creeped me out, and that was just on my radar. And the more and more I sat there and annoyed her, that's how I ended up just learning how to read it and all that good shit. But I definitely think it was Pet Sematary that got me going on the Stephen King train.
Is that it?
Oh yeah, that's the Stephen King one, but that was a small picture. Like, say this is the cover of the book, it would have been a small little box picture right here, and then the rest of the book was all white.
Okay.
Look
Pet
up the
Cemetery one?
Yeah. Definitely though, Pet Sematary, I got it right here because it's one of my favorites. It's a fantastic movie all about, I don't even know where they moved to. I think it's Derry. I know there's connections.
I don't remember.
I know there's connections to it in something.
Really?
Yes.
Here's that must be the book. It has to be.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what it was.
Oh.
That's exactly what it was. And I remember just staring into that cat's mouth all the time, and then finally I was like, you know what, I'm gonna read this.
That's a great movie.
I think this movie is brilliant. I think this is a fantastic movie, except for the very ending. Super good movie though. Like, move to a small, quaint little town.
Yeah.
Cat dies, the son dies. Judd across the street's like, nah, I don't want to bury a son in the pet cemetery, but I'll show you the Indian burial ground.
Come with me. Don't go down that
Don't
road.
go down that road. Sometimes dead is better. Then why, Judd? Why did you do this, Judd?
Sometimes dead is better.
Sometimes dead is better. Me and my buddies, we had a
That's
huge kick of
funny.
that. We would, every time we would see each other, we'd be like, oh, sometimes dead is better. And then be like, sometimes bread is better. Sometimes red is better. And it was just like, whatever we could come up. You like blowjobs? Or you like handjobs? Oh, sometimes head is better.
Oh my god.
We had a bunch of them. They were really funny. But Pet Sematary is like Stephen King's
Are you
classic.
gay? Sometimes Fred is better.
Sometimes Fred is better. It's, you like toast? No, the bread is better. It's like just stupid. It was stupid. But they came out with a sequel. I'm not gonna do every Stephen King movie, but I'll do the ones I have because they're the only ones I've seen. Pet Sematary 2. This is stop. This is better than the first one.
So bad.
No, it's not. It's better than the first one. This was my introduction to Clancy Brown, who is an amazing, amazing actor.
Yes, he is.
Edward Furlong is in this, who does a fantastic job. When the dog dies, I cry every time.
I know.
That's so sad. And you see the son sitting out in the woods, and they're playing like this horribly depressing, like sad rock song, and he's like sitting there holding his dead dog, and he's crying, and I'm like, you know, I'm crying, and I'm like, I want you to bury him in that cemetery, but I don't, because when he comes back, he's not gonna be the same, and he's fucking dead, and he can't, because he can kill you, you know? You don't know how to react to something like that, because you know what's
Doesn't
gonna...
Clancy Brown kill the dog?
Yeah, Clancy Brown's the bad guy in this.
He's like,
He's the main bad
I'm
guy.
sick of that dog.
Well, the dog's like getting after the chickens, and he's like dead, and he's upstairs trying to like rape the wife.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice! 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 Oh, that's so cool, man. I would love that
That
prop.
looks like the Hocus Pocus guy.
Yeah, it does. The Mummy. So this movie's awesome. I think this movie's great. You don't like it?
I don't know.
You're a piece of shit.
It's a movie.
I don't think it's a Stephen King anything because it doesn't say Stephen King on it at all, and there was no Pet Sematary 2 book. Oh, you know. But if you want to talk about shitty pet cemeteries, Bada Boom 2019 was a complete and utter disappointment,
so
failure on
bad,
every level.
so bad.
Why was this movie ever even made? Your guess is as good as mine. I thought it was going to be great.
I fell asleep to it.
The best part of this movie, again, you guessed it, is Judd. Or Jed.
Yeah.
Is it Jed or Judd? Uncle Jesse!
I don't remember.
I don't either. But John Lithgow,
John Lithgow.
he's fantastic. He gets his Achilles tendon cut.
Oh yeah.
It's gross.
And they switch it up in that one with the story a little bit.
I don't like it at all.
No, it's terrible.
I thought the ending was atrocious.
I don't think I saw the ending because I fell asleep.
In the original Pet Sematary, the father, the wife, and the 2 kids move to wherever, and then the cat gets killed. Shit gets too heavy for the family, so the mom takes the kids to the in-laws or whatever. The father stays at home doing his own thing, buries the cat at the Pet Cemetery. The cat comes back to life. It's all fucked up, whatever. I think I missed something in between there. The kids are already gone, blah, blah, blah. But then, however it happens, the
Birthday
kid...
party.
Right. Birthday party, the youngest son, Gage, whatever his name is, runs out in the middle of the road and gets smoked by an 18-wheeler. It's horrible, but it's great at the same time because it adds a whole element of, like, you know where this is going. You just don't know how it's getting there. He takes his son after... That's what it is. After the son dies, the mother takes the daughter and they go away because things are too crazy.
Yeah.
So the dad takes the son to Pet Cemetery or beyond up to the Indian burial ground. It's soiled.
Hi.
Hi, sweetie. And buries the kid there, and the kid comes back to life. That's the part I hated. He didn't have a scratch on him.
Yep.
He should have been messed up. He got hit by an
Should have
18-wheeler.
been.
He should have been all gross looking.
Yeah.
So he comes back, ends up... What does he do? He kills
Judd.
He kills Judd. He then...
And,
kills the mom. He kills the mom because the mom has no idea what happened.
Yeah.
So then at the very, very end, you got like the creepy little son. You've got the mom who's like half gross looking because the son killed her. And she comes like walking into the house because the dad had buried her into the Indian burial ground. Hold on, baby.
Because he just didn't learn.
Because he didn't learn his lesson with the cat or his son.
Yeah.
Which that's really sad when he's trying to kill his son again. And he's
Yeah.
got the syringe and he's like, come here, Cage. And then the son's like looking at him, he's like, I want to play with you, Daddy.
Yeah.
And he's like holding a nut. That's messed up stuff.
Yeah.
So, right at the very end, the wife is dead and it alludes to she killed her husband. Simple. This one, the kid gets left in the car alone. The daughter's dead, the wife is dead, the husband's dead, and you just see all of them coming back from the pet cemetery. And the son is left alone in the car, and he's got his hands up against the window, and he's looking at his family, and then the family is just walking up to him like, we're going to kill you now. It doesn't have the same feel.
Nope.
It just feels like you had to do this, because if you did the same ending, it would have been stupid. Not stupid because it was a dumb ending, but stupid, like, what was the point?
Do you hate that the daughter ends up saving the son, like, out of the road, and then she gets hit?
I thought that was an okay twist.
It was a wicked twist.
I thought it was okay,
But
like,
they
when
ruined
she...
it in the trailer.
When she
didn't
came
they?
back to life, and like she's laying next to her dad, and like he's like pulling her scalp apart because like he's trying to brush her hair,
Yes.
and like her hair is
Yes.
just pulling out in clumps.
Yeah.
I just felt like I feel like kid actors from the 80s and 90s were light years ahead of kid actors today. This little girl annoyed me.
Yeah.
Like where the girl from the original one annoyed me, but in the sense of like I feel your pain.
Can we talk about the mom's sister that was upstairs?
That was gross.
That never saw
She had like
light of
this
day.
was like one of the things the wife had her own character development to show why she's psychologically messed up, and they show like flashbacks of her as a kid living in their house, and her sister had like spina bifida
Oh yeah.
or something.
Wicked.
So
Weird.
she's like she's the one that the sister has to go and feed her and do this, and like it's all creepy, the angles they show it and everything, because it's all just weird. And they show her like laying in bed, all like crippled and mutated.
It's
Her
disturbing.
face looks like the
It's
fucking
disturbing.
Gina Davis's thing right there. It's
Yeah.
all like her skin's all pulled back. It's all tight. You see her spine like poking through her back, and she's just like, Beverly,
You ever yelling her name?
feed me, Beverly, or like
Yes.
it's gross. That's like one of the most unsettling moments.
That's the worst part.
It is. It's awful.
Oh, it's bad.
We'll skim through these real quick. There was The Shining. This is the Stanley Kubrick. Shining, the one that everybody loves with Jack Nicholson, Jack Tenor, that's his name in the movie. Plays a lot of Jacks in real life.
Kind of like Keanu Reeves plays a lot of Johns.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is a classic. This is a absolute classic, The
I
Shining.
remember seeing that.
There is the Stephen King one that has, I believe it's Steven Weber in it, is not as good. This is truly the best one. They came out with like a year or two ago. I think it was like last year. The sequel to it, which, pun intended, it was a sleeper. Not many people went out and saw it.
It was great.
Dr. Sleep. I think this is one of the best.
It was.
Are you all done? Or you need help? Okay. I think this is one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And the chick,
Oh,
her,
super hot.
oh my god.
Super hot.
Banging. Can you talk about the movie a little bit while I do this?
Yeah. Basically, it's the son of the first movie there.
Yep. Danny?
Yep, Danny. He has some issues, and he.
Well, The Shining is, it's a gift. They call it The Shine.
Yeah, The Shine.
And now when you're watching the original Shining, you have no idea. You just think this is a creepy movie. Jack Nicholson's character is just bonkers. He kind of goes like Stockholm Syndrome or whatever it is where you're locked up and you go nuts. This one really dives deep into what that first one is. This shows you Danny years later, like 30 years later, he's traumatized still by the events of the hotel.
Yes.
They do flashbacks, which are really cool. Yep. It's not Shelley Duvall or Jack Nicholson in the flashbacks, but they're pretty damn
close.
good.
Yeah.
I think they do a good job with them. And it's all about these cultists. Okay, these cultists going around and finding all these children or people with this ability, and they murder them.
Yeah.
When they hurt.
They're terrible people.
When they killed that one kid,
that little boy.
I
with
was
the
like,
baseball
no way they did that.
Little boy with a baseball just won the game.
Right. They take him, Little League. They take him to like a construction site. And these people are like, they look like carnies.
Yes.
And their eyes start glowing white. They surround this little boy. They're holding him down, and they're each one of them. Every time they stab him, he loses a little bit of his shine, and they eat that.
That's what they live.
That's what they live off of, and it was brutal.
Bad.
They must have stabbed this kid at least 50 times. Little like 8-year-old boy, and blood's going everywhere. He's just screaming, and you see like these people like a pack of wolves standing over him, like sucking his essence away, and it's like, damn. So the hero is Danny, who knows what this shine is, meets this other little girl through her dreams, and they battle.
Oh, the girl's great.
This movie's phenomenal.
This girl is perfect.
They go back to the hotel. You see the red rum. You see the blood.
They drive up that road, and you're like,
music.
No.
Dun, dun, dun. It's great.
They end up at the hotel. Because he has to go there to confront
his demons.
That's the only way he can kill the girl, the villain. Is if he brings her there and lets them take care of her.
Lets the ghosts from the original hotel consume her.
Yep.
Wow.
It's
really,
amazing.
really awesome.
It's good.
I don't know if it's a Stephen King book. I truly don't know.
I don't know either, actually.
I think it is, actually. There's like 3 or 4 of them. I feel like there is. I remember seeing Dr. Sleep.
I don't think he puts his name on it unless he writes it, does he?
The book?
The movies? I don't think he puts his name on it unless he wrote it.
Well, some of the movies he's done are short stories that have been adapted that aren't necessarily like a full-on book.
Well, like Stand By Me was his, and that was...
Right, yeah, that's a good one.
That was a short story by him. Stand By Me.
But that movie is... Dr. Sleep is great.
Yes.
And that chick, Rebecca Ferguson.
Oh my God.
The first time they show her, she's like looking like a hippie and stuff. Good Lord.
She's got some like serious yoga pants going on in some of them.
She's very, very hot. Especially with that top hat. I don't know what the hell it is with that.
Yeah. And the jewelry.
And then the other ones, the original... Oh, I don't have it over here. Oh, I don't. Well, over there, I have the original It on Blu-ray, the TV series one with Tim Curry and shit. I think that's a great movie or series, whatever you want to call it. It did its job for me when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Scared the shit out of me. Will not lie. The only thing that didn't scare me was the ending when it was a big spider.
Oh, yeah.
I always thought that was stupid. The original one is really great. It's got John Ritter in it.
What's the scariest part in that? One of the scarier parts in that for you?
In the original?
Yeah.
Well, just in there in the sewer.
Okay.
And it's just creepy. And then like when they go to like the swamp-looking area, the marsh, and you just see like Pennywise standing in like the middle of the swamp with balloons just waiting. and then like the kids rub their eyes, and then next thing you know, it's like a skeleton now,
Yup.
like a disintegrating skeleton waving to them. Just stuff like that I thought was really creepy. When they're in the when the black dude, I forget his name, is in the library, and like balloons start gumming everywhere, and like nobody sees them but him, and then Pennywise is sitting up on like the balcony, and he's got like one of those rattler things, and he's like, ah! And he's just laughing like, it's like, that's fucked up.
I can't believe that's Tim Curry.
Yeah, I think he's brilliant in it.
Wow.
It Chapter 1. This is great.
Yes, it is.
This is great. This is another phenomenal.
I gotta watch that.
I just watched it the other day.
I gotta watch
This is a phenomenal movie. Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise is awesome. The best scene by far in this entire movie is the movie projector scene.
Yes, it is.
That is the coolest scene, straight up.
Yep.
Very creepy movie. Very, very, very creepy movie. I like the concept of this is Chapter 1 with the losers, and then Chapter 2 is more with the adults, even though they do a lot of the flashbacks, which I thought was unnecessary. Tell the story you need to tell in this one with the kids.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm having a heart attack.
You can relate to the kids.
You
the
can.
kids are I love the kids.
You can. This was a really good movie. I thought it was very creepy in a lot of the moments. It Chapter 2 I do not own. You and I went and saw that.
Oh yeah, I own it.
You doing it?
I do.
I
bought it for my mom.
personally know I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I thought they tried to make it, for whatever reason, way too funny.
Yes.
They tried to make it funny.
We both agreed that it wasn't.
It wasn't
fantastic.
very great, no. Which is sad and depressing because they had some top-notch fucking actors in that movie. James McAvoy.
Jessica Chastain.
I can't even remember the movie. I just remember the opening scene where he kills the gay kid.
Yup.
And that's it. And then like in the funhouse.
Yeah.
I probably will get it, but these are great Stephen King ones. Stephen King's The Mist. This is a fantastic movie. If you've never seen it, I will not spoil it because this has one of the best endings
Punisher guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has one of the best endings to a movie I've ever seen in my life. It literally leaves you. If it doesn't leave anybody that's watching this like, what the fuck? And just then I don't know what movie's gonna grab your attention. Have you seen this?
Not start to finish, but parts of it.
The ending, I can't even.
A lot of people from The Walking Dead are in that.
A masterpiece, one of the most shocking movie endings ever. I cannot stress.
I think I've seen
The ending of this movie is probably the most depressing ending to a movie like this I've ever seen in my life. Because you're instantly like, you could think a couple of things. You could think, what was the point?
Yeah.
Or my thought is, oh no. Like, I really feel for that character. Like, I fucking hate that this just happened to you. Very good. Room 1408. Fantastic Stephen King. Little snippet here. John Cusack and Sam Jackson.
Oh yeah.
They were also in another Stephen King movie, which was shit, called The Cell. Remember I showed you it? I know I showed you this movie. I think I did anyways. Maybe I didn't. But this movie's great. It's all about John Cusack's character is a horror writer. He stays in different hotels, experiences the haunted stuff about it, and then writes about it. Room 1408 is a haunted room. This is a great movie.
Yes.
First time these two were in a movie together, and like I said, they were in another one called The Cell. Came out a couple years ago. All about cell phone towers and like birds communicating, and then a frequency comes over like devices that like turns people into like zombified, not like they're gonna eat you, but just brainless people. And like you can walk by him and stuff, but you have to be like dead quiet. John Cusack's in it. Sam Jackson's in it. It's an awful, awful movie.
The Cell.
Awful movie. The very end of it.
The only Cell I know is with J-Lo.
The very end of it is Sam Jackson. He's like this hardened badass the whole time, and at the end he like basically just gives up. He's like, not worth it. It's like, well, what was the point of your whole character? Like none of that made sense then.
Yep.
And then I just remember there's like 1 million people walking in a circle, and they're all emanating this same frequency of like white noise, like a screech sound, like weird staticky radio sound, and like thousands of them are just walking in like a circle, like zombies. There's birds flying over them, and then John Cusack, he's just basically like, yeah, well, if you can't beat them, join them, and just becomes part of like the flock. I'm like, what was the point of any of this? I don't even get this movie. It was awful. Stephen King's Sleepwalker. Sleepwalkers.
You showed me the beginning once.
With Mark Hamill is in this as a cop. Weird movie about these two cat people, a mother and a son, that like mutate from like humans to cats. They need people, virgins, to survive. That that whole that whole fairy tale story. It's all been done. This is a weird movie, but it's actually a pretty cool movie. I actually really did like this. I showed you it because of the music.
Yeah, we had that big thing about the music.
Graveyard Shift. Go check it out. Check this movie out. If you like movies that have mean, horrible, piece of crap bosses, if you like movies that have down on their luck, working in the muck employees, if you like movies that take place in the creepy ass minds of who knows where, it could be Moria, if you like giant rat monsters, then you need to check out Graveyard Shift. If you like music that isn't good, but it still has a purpose in your life, you're gonna love this movie. Because it's the Graveyard Shift. Check this out. I'm not even gonna go into detail. This movie's awesome. I really suggest. Cheesy horror, but yet, damn, that was cool. Very cool movie. Literally, these guys work in like these mines, and there are giant mutated rats that live in these mines.
Oh my.
No. Oh, mines.
I see what you did there.
Ah! I'm gonna be bald Jericho. And then there's Stephen King's Silver Bullet, which you had said you had just seen, whatever. Yep. I think this is probably one of my favorite Stephen King movies. It's got Gary Busey in it. Ha! Crazy Gary Busey!
Corey Haim.
Corey Haim.
Like Corey.
The other Corey.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Corey. You died. Not in this, but you died. You're in a wheelchair. There's a creepy priest.
Gary
Busey.
The guy that talked. Yes. Did you already say that?
Did you not see me have an epileptic palsy, fucking aneurysm? Yeah. This movie's great. This is probably the best werewolf movie I've ever seen in my life. It's scary when he transforms.
Yes.
Like, I mean scary. It literally looks like his face is growing at times, and it's uncomfortable. First time I ever saw this, I was with my dad. We were at his friend's house. I was sitting in the living room watching it while everybody else was out in the living room drinking and smoking, doing whatever they're doing. Or the kitchen. I'm watching this movie. I am terrified as hell. It just got past the part where they're in the swamp and the bog, and the whole town is out there hunting this werewolf or this monster, and all you see are like the werewolf's arm come up out of the smoke or the fog, and then like literally rip someone's face off and then rip them into the smoke, and then because like you wouldn't hear what's happening after they go in the smoke, but everybody's like, what's going? What was that? It's like you don't hear that thing gnawing him. Like you don't hear him screaming anymore. But it's that it was great. But my dad at that moment, he goes, "Hey, why don't you go out to my truck and get my cigarettes?" And I'm like, "No, there's werewolves out there." It wasn't. But this is a fantastic movie. Like, fantastic.
I like it when he soups up his wheelchair.
Yeah, and he's got like the fireworks and shit on it, and like little zoomers and whatnot.
He's like, I increased your horsepower for you.
Right, and all he's got is like streamers and rockets on it.
Yeah.
And then the last two I have that I own are...
It's his uncle right here. He's his uncle.
Yes, he is. He's his eccentric uncle. Yeah. George A. Romero and Stephen King collaborated and made Creepshow 1 and 2. And these are basically... Tales from the Crypt, the movies. Twilight Zone, the movies. They're what-ifs. This first one, I don't remember the one with the old lady, but I remember... I feel like I vaguely remember this one. It's got Ted Danson and Leslie Nielsen in it. Leslie Nielsen is like this weird... I don't even know how to explain it. These stories are bizarre. Like this one old guy right here, he's a germaphobe, and he's like a millionaire, and he lives in this high-end like apartment, and he starts to go crazy, and he starts to see cockroaches all over his apartment. So he's like spraying them, he's like killing them, and by the end of it, literally, he's sitting in this little room all by himself, thinking like, I got him, I got all the cockroaches, they're all dead. Like he's just losing his mind throughout the end of it. And then when you realize it, like when you're in a false reality when you see him sitting there by himself. When it comes back to reality, you just see his face pressed up against the window, completely covered in like millions of cockroaches in this one room, and he's dead. And it's just like, I don't know what any of this is, but just bizarre, creepy tales. The second one was more comedic. Like there was an Indian statue that people kind of disrespected out in front of like this old like thrift shop or whatever, and like the Indian statue comes to life and like goes and hunts down and kills its disrespecters. Totally like a Are You Afraid of the Dark kind of style. Absolutely. They're fun for what they are though, for just quick 20-minute little movies within a movie of itself. And there's George Romero is known for Land of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, all the zombie movies.
Everything that has dead in it.
Yeah, almost every fucking zombie movie that came out prior to the 2000s. He had his hand on all of it. I had the original Night of the Living Dead, the black and white one, and I used to love watching that movie. I don't have it anymore. I wish I did. But Stephen King. Without Stephen King, honestly, I wouldn't be into any of this. I wouldn't be into any horror.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have any... I mean, I probably would maybe at this point in my life. But knowing that he's the reason I got into all this, the reason that we were even able to do this Halloween special that's been at least 16 hours long. This is our WrestleMania, a 5-hour...
But it's interesting.
I love it.
It is. And I know there's people that will listen, and I know there's people that won't listen. And to those people that won't listen, you won't hear me say fuck you, but fuck you! That pretty much wraps it up for my 3 topics of our pickings, I guess.
I got one.
Okay, lay it on.
What's your favorite costume that you've ever worn for Halloween?
Ooh. I really don't know, because when I was growing up, all my costumes were really generic and basic. I never had the ability to be creative on my own standards. Like right now, I would probably have to say, like, I'm going to go out this year for Halloween with her, and I'm going out as Le Champion of La Podcast, Ace Jericho, but I'm going to have my arm bandaged up because she's going as a doctor. So she's going to be my
I remember you telling me that, yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I dressed up as like Luigi one year, which was a lot of fun because my buddy Ethan was Mario. I don't know. There's nothing that jumps out. So
mine was when I was a kid. I was huge into Care Bears, which is
I've seen the picture.
And my mom knew this woman that was a seamstress, and she made me
a bear suit.
It literally looked like a mascot, like a college mascot type suit.
I've seen the picture.
Yeah. And I was the green one with the shamrock on its, stomach.
I had the raccoon one, purple. Had like a hot air balloon on its chest.
For an outfit?
No, as a teddy bear.
That explains so fucking much about these two. Not once, not goddamn one time in my whole life did I ever have Care Bears.
Wow.
Why did I not have Care Bears? Because my mom had boys.
He wasn't caring enough. He didn't live in care.
I was the uncare bear. The bear that didn't care. The bear with no hair that didn't give a care. How I dare. You feel control. No, I didn't have any Care Bears or anything.
My favorite costume, if you don't mind, Tony Hawk.
You dressed up as Tony Hawk?
I did.
What did you do? Just wear a flat brim hat?
I wore
Vans?
I wore a birdhouse shirt. Nobody knew who I was. Oh, he's a skateboarder guy. Like Tony Hawk.
Okay.
Cargo shorts. Carried my board around. It was a birdhouse board. Nobody knew.
Was that in Minerva?
Yeah.
Well, you only live with 6 people, so what do you expect?
And then a lot of the other times, I would just have a glow-in-the-dark hockey mask and a bloody knife.
Yeah.
And that was for like 4 years in a row.
I remember one year I dressed up as Ghostface from Scream, and it was one of the masks that you could pump.
Cool.
It had a little
blood.
Yeah, it came with a heart
Yeah.
that you'd have in your hand, and it had a tube that would go all the way up into the mask, and the blood would sit into the heart, and you'd pump it, and it would pump it through, and then pour down the mask. And I was an idiot. Had no concept of anything. I remember going trick-or-treating, and I will never forget doing this. Trick-or-treating to my 5th grade teacher's house, Miss Rude's, and they had a white floor. And I just thought, I don't even know. They said, "Oh, pump your mask, whatever." And I did one of these. Like I leaned forward because I hadn't pumped it yet, and I just thought it was all gonna pour out of the mask.
Right.
I didn't think it was gonna circulate. No. And so I'm pumping it, and they're making the face like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Oh no!" Like I got it all over your floor. Like I just because
that's what you figured it was gonna do.
Yep.
Yep.
I already had it in my head that was their reaction, and I must have looked stupid because I did. I remember being like, what is he doing? And I'm thinking, I don't want to get it all over me.
Right.
But it was always hard though because when I was a kid, I always had glasses, so I couldn't really wear a mask. I remember getting an alien mask. They had like these big orbs for eyes, so it wasn't straight on your face like this.
Good.
It came out.
You could see.
No, you couldn't, because you're fucking breathing in a mask that has plastic eyes, and they're just
So you're
steaming
just
up.
fogging it up,
Yeah.
yep.
Especially they're like that rainbow transparent. So once they're that glossy, you think you're walking this direction, and you're over here hitchhiking on a bus in Jersey. It's like I hate Halloween. But
our senior year of high school, we thought we'd go out, and I was heavy into ICP at that point, so I painted my face like Violent J, and I got one of those plastic meat cleavers that you can get, and I put cereal boxes on them, so I was a serial killer.
Cool.
Nobody got the joke. My friends got the joke, but nobody got the joke. I was like, I'm a serial killer, and they just didn't get it.
see, that's like the jokes I love, because that's like when I made up like 2 stupid Comic-Con like cosplay outfits. One, just me with like a Deadpool mask on with an inflatable pool with holes in it, paint some blood on it, and wear the pool. People are like, "What are you?" I'm like, "I'm a Deadpool." You get it?
Yeah,
I'm a Deadpool. I'm a pool that's dead. But I know I'd have to explain that to people. My other one would be Weapon Xmas, Santa Claus.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, that's like genius.
Yep. Yeah.
Fuck.
I've got a funny story. I've got a story, a Halloween
My eyes
story.
itch like crazy.
One year I dressed up as Dracula. And I used to go... Minerva, you can't walk from house to house.
Even though it's this
Not-
fucking big.
Not in the part we lived in. You had to get a ride. So I went with my buddy, like every year, my buddy Brian. And I get in the car. We go to the house. We come back. I get in the car. Shut the door. We go to get on the main road, and I get jerked really hard. Like I hit my head. Like, oh, what the fuck was that?
So one of these?
It was worse. And I'm like, oh, that really was weird. And I'm like, should I tell him to like stop? I don't know what happened. I get out, my cape, it caught the tire.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you've been watching this podcast for like the last 3 hours and you made it that far, keep listening. It's getting good.
My cape caught the tire, and my whole is gone.
I want to see that so bad. Of just like,
I
oh, Jesus Christ! What the God?
Looking like a night at the Roxbury. Just
Right, that's what I was thinking. And then just,
I kid you not.
driving sucks, bro.
That's fucking
I was
great.
embarrassed to be like, oh, stop the car, because it was my friend's dad. I didn't want to like piss him off.
That's great.
Not all heroes wear capes, ladies and gentlemen. Even the ones that do shouldn't.
So when you're trick-or-treating this year, be careful with your
Yeah,
That's why they say don't wear capes. That's why Incredibles, no capes.
right, exactly. You be tripping on them. Ultimo Dragon, you know.
That was my story.
That's pretty much it. I don't know why I put these on here. I just want to give these like little acknowledgments for people that do want to watch horror movies and stuff, and you're interested in what we just talked about. I had a couple more, 4 more. I'm not going to talk about what they are, but I would like to throw them out there for people that may not know much. Hi.
Cipher.
Get out of here, Jesse. 30 Days of Night, which is a really good vampire movie
Oh yeah.
with Josh Hartnett, and I don't remember who else is in it. It's a pretty good vampire movie. You don't often see vampire movies in Alaska,
No.
so that's why it's called 30 Days of Night.
Especially Alaska.
It's pretty sweet. One of my absolute favorites is Chernobyl Diaries.
Ooh.
Uh,
I'd like to see that.
I really like it. It's all about Chernobyl, the radioactive power plants. Reactor number 5. I think that's what they call it. That's a cool one. I personally enjoy it. The original Pumpkinhead.
Ooh, yeah.
Those are badass. The second one is called Blood Wings. And if anybody knows anything about sexual terms, how you doing? And then I guess it's 2. Is House. House and House 2, the next story.
I've never heard of those.
You've never heard of House?
No.
Ding dong, you dead. Because it's funny. You never heard of House?
Just the show with the
Oh
guy,
man,
the
no.
doctor guy.
This guy gets left a house from like his aunt or something, and weird shit happens in it. And he moves into this house, and he starts to like hear like creepy shit, and like 3 o'clock every night he hears like these weird noises coming from like this storage room and like this closet. So one day he opens it up, and like it's not subtle, it's boom, there it is. This big fucking mutated, melted monster thing is like crawling out of the closet at him, and he's like, oh, what the fuck? And he like slams the door shut, and it's kind of comedic because the next time you see him, he's got like all these cameras set up in front of the door. He's got like sandbags set up in front of it. He's wearing like an army helmet with like an army vest. You hear like snare drums playing, like they're playing it
Oh
up.
my god.
And he's like hiding behind like the sandbags, and you hear like the dun 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 dun, like just playing it up, kind of cheesy, but
Sure.
it's awesome. It's like it's like this, prosthetic wise and visually. It's just like one of these movies. It's like this meets Monster Squad meets.
I'm gonna look up.
I got it right here.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard that.
House and House 2.
Ding dong, you're dead.
He deals with like PTSD of being in Vietnam, so the house is messing with him in that, and it's making him see flashbacks of a soldier he left behind during Vietnam.
Yep, it was
So
a
then
soldier.
that's him.
Yeah.
So then when you start to see him in modern day, he's like a zombie trying to kill him. It's sweet. The second one is really good. These two guys or whatever, they inherit the house as well or something, and they start to see really weird shit. The one guy sees like a cowboy from like the Wild West. He's like an old gunslinger ghost. It's
That's wicked.
like, have you ever seen Frighteners?
Yeah.
It fits the same bill as that. Like, you take the movie Frighteners serious, but then some of the acting is cartoony because it's supposed to be.
Right.
Like the ghosts. If you wanted that movie to be serious, you wouldn't have had a black jazz style ghost and like a nerdy ghost as like his companions, because that's clearly meant to be like funny. I like this movie a lot.
That's
Both
cool.
of them.
I'll check them out.
George Wendt is in the
Norm
first one.
from Cheers.
Yep.
Ah.
He's great. He's his next door neighbor. He's like fixated with the main guy at first. He's like, oh, I'm like your biggest fan. Like, I got all your books. Like, and the main guy's just like, get the fuck out of here. So then when he's like trying to tell him, like, hey, you know, Norm, let's call him Norm. Like, there's a monster in my house. The guy's like, fuck you. You brushed me off. I ain't believing you, you crazy crackpot. I mean, the monsters they show in it, like one of them, like his ex-girlfriend shows up, and he's like, you shouldn't be here. Like, he says something weird to her, and she like slinks down underneath the table, and he's like, Bev, or whatever her name is, like, what are you doing? And you just see her pop up from behind the table, and she's like this fat Jabba the Hutt, like sluggish looking monster that's like running around trying to kill. She looks like a Power Ranger villain, just ridiculous.
Just kill her.
But it's all he does. He ends up like blasting her into pieces with a shotgun, but she's still alive. So he puts all of her body parts into a black garbage bag, buries her out back in the yard. Later on in the movie, he's sitting there, and like the cops come over for a whole nother thing, and like you see her arm, it dug itself out of the hole, and now it's like dragging itself like through the house, like, and it's like pulling on his pant leg, and that's the comic shit. Like the cops, oh, is there something peculiar going on here? And like he's sitting there shooing away like an arm.
Right.
I love it. I absolutely love movies like this. These are great. These are absolutely great. And I just wanted to give like an acknowledgement to just a couple of my personal favorites that kind of I don't often think about or say.
Yeah. I've never heard.
Real quick, I'm going to do this as fast as I can. I'm going to read off where I'm at so far with my 31 days of Halloween.
Great. Let's hear it.
So, September 29th, I started 2 days early because that's when I bought the Scream movies, and I really wanted to watch those. So I watched Scream 1 the 29th, Scream 2 the 30th, and October 1st it was Scream 3, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Ghostbusters 1984, and the new Scoob with Gemma. October 2nd was Hotel Transylvania 1 and 3 with Gemma. October 3rd, As Above, So Below, the Goosebumps movie, Igor with Gemma. October 4th, Monster House, Hotel Transylvania 2 with Gemma. October 5th, Jeepers Creepers 3, The Thing 2010. October 6th, The Thing 1982, Child's Play 1988, Frankenweenie, Toy Story of Terror, Simpsons Treehouse of Horror with Gemma. Hello. October 7th, Child's Play 2019, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, which, if you guys didn't know, is a movie where Robert De Niro plays Frankenstein. And Helena Bonham Carter plays the Bride of Frankenstein. And it's not like a super crazy horror movie, but the most graphic part of that entire movie is Robert De Niro's Frankenstein wants, I want the wife, right? I want the wife.
He wants the...
So, I want the girl you're in love with, Victor Frankenstein. And he's like, no, never. So, Frankenstein pissed off that you created me, but you won't create another life for me. I'm going to take the life you love. So, there's a scene where Frankenstein is on top of the Helena Bonham Carter character, and Dr. Victor breaks into the room. He's like, no!
I thought he was acting.
No, it went in my mouth. Fuck.
That's what she said.
I hate hair. That's... So he goes, I'm going to take away what you love, and he literally just punches her straight in the chest, rips her heart out, blood. I mean, this is the most graphic part so far in the movie. Blood is going everywhere. Victor is like, no, what did you do? And then he fucking picks her up. Or no, he starts smashing her in the face.
Oh,
like clubbing her in the face. He's literally trying to destroy any part of this woman. He takes her, smashes her in the face, smashes her face off of the coffee table, and then like a candle and shit falls on her face and just burns her whole face to like nothing. So when he jumps out the window, Victor's holding her. I mean, I'm like, wow, that's pretty brutal. So then he goes and he's like, well, of course I'm gonna bring my love back. There's the Bride of Frankenstein, and she is like disgustingly disgusting. And that's where that goes from there. But interesting movie with Robert De Niro's Frankenstein. Within the same day, we watched another Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episode. Watched Labyrinth with David Bowie. Ernest Scared Stupid with Gemma. October 8th, House of a Thousand Corpses, It 2017, Corpse Bride, Beetlejuice 1988, Real Monsters, the series, Addams Family Values.
Yes.
October 9th, The Witches, Goosebumps, the series, Evolution with Gemma. Do you guys remember the movie Evolution?
Evolution's great.
I figured, you know what?
Orlando Jones?
Yep. That was made by David
Duchovny. Yeah.
Wow.
That's a great movie.
Sean William Scott, Julianne Moore. That is a great movie. I figured, you know what? Even though it's not Halloween or anything, it's still like weird. So why not watch that one? October 10th, Stranger Things, Season 1, first 3 episodes. October 11th, Beetlejuice the Cartoon, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Season 1, Scooby-Doo 2 with Gemma. October 12th, Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. October 13th, Addams Family, the original movie, and more Beetlejuice the Cartoon. October 14th, Ready or Not, and more Beetlejuice the Cartoon. Because there's a lot of it. October 15th, Pet Sematary 2019. And then today I wrote down Little Monsters.
So what did you think of As Above, So Below?
I enjoyed it, except for when they tried to make it supernaturally.
Yep.
Other than that, I loved it.
I saw it in the theater. I liked it.
Like, when they did the thing where he's like seeing his brother's face underneath the bones, I love that idea, but it was not executed well.
Yeah.
It looked poor. One of the things like it tore me apart was at the end is when the one guy gets like his neck bitten into, and then the other like Italian, whatever the fuck he is, French guy is like staying with him, and she's like, "I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I got the wrong stone," and I'm thinking, you have so far to go.
Yep.
What? No, there's no way you'd make it back in time. If you guys are in danger that paralleled, you're not getting there and making it back in time. And she did, and I thought that was a little far-fetched, even though it was a movie. Because even the drain or whatever, the tunnel that the black dude fell down, she climbed that fucking thing like nothing.
Yep.
I'm like, that was at least 50 feet.
Yep.
Ooh, waffles. I'm like, that's at least 50 feet that he dropped. But I did like the bizarreness of it. I like that we're going in circles.
I remember seeing the trailer and I was like, I don't like these movies a lot, but something about this
I didn't
movie,
realize
I
it was going to be the found footage style. I didn't realize that, which I'm a little over that.
Yeah.
But I honestly liked it. I thought it was, when it was creepy, it was really freaking creepy.
Yeah.
Like when the black dude is stuck in the bones and he's like, and you hear the singing getting loud. He's like, "Why are they singing? Tell them to stop singing. What the fuck are they singing?" And they're like telling him to calm down. Like that's one of those moments when I was talking about earlier where the camera's staying on him. You're staying in his moment of claustrophobicness.
Yep.
You have to now, like, because now I'm like, okay, can we get out of this? Because like now I'm getting uncomfortable being stuck in this frame with him.
Yep.
And he's like, "Something just bit me. Something just bit me." And at that point, I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but this is fucking nuts.
Yep.
And then when they escaped, I was like, because at first when they're pushing on the manhole and you see the red light, I'm like, that's hell. That's hell. They're going straight into the mouth of hell. And then when they open it up and the camera fucking rotates and it's the street level, I'm like, I just got goosebumps because that's exactly. I literally was like, they seriously just got out of there? I didn't expect them to live.
Yeah.
I thought that was purgatory. They're stuck. And then when they move that manhole, and I love the concept of, you have been upside down this whole time.
Yep.
Wow.
You have been upside down this... Because, dude, legit, they go into this room, and it's like just a...
That's cool.
And they're like, what do we do? How do we get out of here? And they notice a manhole. And they're like, look, it's a manhole. So they're pushing on it, right? And it's you can see resistance. At least there is resistance. And you're not realizing it's gravity.
Yep.
Because up to this point, my mind is thinking, because you're seeing a red light come out of this when they're pushing it, the manhole down, you see a sliver of light. And I'm thinking, because they keep talking about this is leading them to hell.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, they're gonna go down there, and then you're just gonna hear screams and fade to black. And so when they're pushing down on it, they're like, slide it over. So they're pushing it down. You can see just the gravity of it, and they slide the manhole over, and now all you see is literally, not from their perspective, but from yours, just a red, like an orange light coming out of it. And then next thing you know, one of them like sticks their head through, and you see the joy on their face, and then that's when they are, like you and I, are sitting flat. They put their legs into the hole, and then you now are outside of the hole, and the camera completely rotates, and you see their legs sticking straight up out of the road. Because to them,
yeah,
they're about to jump down.
Yeah.
But to us, they're like crawling out.
Oh my
It was so.
God.
I thought that was really
great.
clever
Yep.
and really well
Wow.
done. And it's a bizarre movie.
Yep.
Very bizarre. It's cheesy. When they do the ghost stuff, like when you see the little kid's face, but when they show like the people grabbing them in the blood, they show the faces in the rocks. They show like the creepy. That stuff is good.
Yeah.
But then there's the times where it's like, meh, okay, that's a little silly. But it's a good enough movie, you're gonna finish it.
Yep.
That was one I'm glad you mentioned. And the only other movie I want to talk about is Ready or Not. That's the one with the chick in the white wedding dress on the cover of the movies. Have you seen that?
Yeah. The one I was telling you about, where they play a game.
Did you tell me about it?
Yeah.
Where she marries into the family?
Yes.
You watched it, right?
I did.
Okay. Yeah, have you seen it? What did you think of it?
I thought it was okay. I liked it.
Yeah, I was alright with it till the very end. Once it got supernatural, I was
what
like,
happened. Oh yes, I remember.
I was like, come on, you didn't need to do this.
Yeah.
That movie was like Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
It had a premise that it showed you in the trailer
Yep.
of, okay, these people, this is what's going on, and then by the end of it, it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because like Cabin in the Woods, you think they're just going into the cabin, monsters are going to attack, and then by the end of it, you realize it's a big conspiracy thing.
Yes.
Not only by the end of that, you realize there are these sacrificial things because there's gods. Have you ever seen Cabin in the Woods?
Yeah.
The big hand comes up out of the dirt and like crushes them.
'Cause that's like a meme now, where the thing with, did you have that for 2020? You know.
Okay, there you go.
Yep.
But that movie was fun.
Yeah, it was.
This movie, the whole idea is middle-class chick marries into a real wealthy family.
Yeah.
The wealthy family, they play a game every time somebody new marries in the family. What it is you go to like the secret room, the head of the family, the father, he's got like this box, he tells you the story, the history of the box and of this ghost or this spirit or whatever, and the whole idea is there's a little tray that opens up on the side of the box. They take a blank card with nothing on it, put it in the box, that closes, and then you give it to the next person that's going to pick the card. They press the button, it pops open, and it's just the randomness of that spirit picks what game you're going to play. Now, they have one game where they you know it's the game hide and seek, ready or not, that's what it is. And they subtly foreshadow it in the beginning of the movie and stuff. They're like, you talk, like two of the brothers that are part of this family, they're saying to each other, you better hope your wife doesn't get that one card because you know what it'll have, what it means.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing, right? And of course, before that though, there's the brother-in-law sitting there and the sister-in-law sitting there. And the brother-in-law, I don't remember what game the sister-in-law says she played, but the brother-in-law goes, yeah, I had Old Maid. He goes, what the hell is Old Maid? So she pulls out hide and seek, and everybody's like, oh, dun 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 dun. So the whole concept is she has to go hide in the house. They have to hunt her and kill her before sunrise. If they don't kill her before sunrise, something horrible happens.
Yes.
Now this is where I deconstruct this whole movie. If it's a random game, right, and that one game, Old Maid, because they allude to it, they make it seem like, yeah, I had Old Maid, and it was normal. They're making it seem like hide and seek is the only one where they kill people.
Yeah.
So why is it a tradition if it's random and it's not
Right.
It
consistent?
will happen every year.
It won't.
Yeah.
So what are you doing a tradition for, which makes the ending not make a lick of sense?
Sure.
These people don't kill her, right? And they're all in like this dining room, and they're all about ready to kill her. They have axes, crossbows, guns, blah blah blah.
She's like on the table, right?
Something
They're
like
gonna get
that,
her.
right? And Gemma, come on, no, take this. Get this stuff out of here. Especially that fucking thing. That's disgusting. I hate that. That is a disgusting. That is gross. So they see in the curtain, oh, the sun's out. We've lost. So they pull the curtain back and they all shriek, like all the people, like the sun is gonna burn them. And I'm like, so there's not a tradition, but you're acting like there is a ritual of a tradition. There's no consequences for what you just did.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here, right? And then in the matter of those moments, the family, they're like, oh, well, we didn't kill her, we lost, this is stupid, blah, blah, blah. And then literally, they all start exploding like grapes. Like,
Isn't that their fear, though, that they'll explode?
no,
They'll die?
they don't know what will happen because this
Yeah,
is
they
not a
don't.
thing.
Yeah, they don't know.
They don't know, so it's like, wait a minute. You don't know if there's really consequences to a tradition that you don't
It's
consistently...
like having faith in it.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's faith. It's faith. There's no other...
Well, didn't their great-great-grandpappy die?
That's what they were saying, but it just, without any context of like, why is this ritual thing even real? Yet you play one game that's random, and that one game is the one that has to be the sacrifice. So, what did you... Oh, wait, the first two people that married in. Okay, there's the mother and the father. So then that means the father, who is related to the guy that originally started this all, when his wife married in, they had to play a game. What'd they play? Fucking Rummy? Because they didn't allude to anybody getting killed in her life, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then the next setup, you've got a daughter that's part of the family and a son that's part of the family. They've got two people that married in. They both say within the same scene, we played basic games. So not once in your single lives have you ever done this. Why are you upholding it like this is something we do all the time when it's like none of you have even killed anybody ever? This is like not even like maybe the second time you've done it. Like, oh, well, he had a wife previously and she accidentally...
Oh, and they were ready to kill.
Because the dude with the crossbow, he gets the crossbow, he's like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? Like, can you even kill anybody with it?
Yeah.
He's literally spends the whole movie watching videos on YouTube of how to use a crossbow.
It's hysterical. He's the funniest part
He is funny.
in the movie.
But it's like... It's... The movie,
doesn't make a lot of sense.
The Hunt. I don't know if you guys saw it yet.
No,
I'm gonna see it.
That movie where you have hoity-toity elites killing people that are below them. I'm not saying that has to reflect our real world, but that's a simple premise that doesn't need an over-exaggerated ending.
It makes sense.
This should have been the same thing. It's a sadistic family that when somebody new comes in, they have to pass the test.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be, because even once the people start exploding, I'm like, what's making them do that? The girl looks over, she sees a fire, there's a little fire in the fireplace, and you see for like a second that great grandpa or whatever sitting there as a ghost. I'm like, you never once in this whole movie up until this moment showed any supernatural anything.
Yeah.
Like, this seems so like you didn't know how to end a movie that seemed like it had a killer premise. I just thought it was pretty stupid, but I think the chick that is in it is so hot. She was in Evil Dead, the series. And first time I saw her in that, I'm like, oh my god, she's banging. But other than that, the Pod God is done. Did you guys see my 30th celebration on AEW?
That was horrible.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah, that match with Luther was just...
I didn't.
Bad.
Normally I watch like clips and stuff, but I didn't watch clips.
Dude, that was bad. I mean, the rest of the show was alright, but that he was messing shit up left and right. Yeah, I don't understand how that man's under contract. He's bad
because he's buddies with Jericho.
Yeah, but
how did they not get Lance Storm?
Right.
Like how? Was he even on the show at all?
Nope.
What did you think of Cody Rhodes winning the title back?
I figured it was going to happen. I didn't think they were going to run with Brody Lee, but...
It just shows you the absolute direction they're going to go. With... He is literally a combination... Cody Rhodes is a combination of Jeff Jarrett and Triple H.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. Because I'm going to be... I love AEW, but I'm also on that team of... What happened to them saying that this is going to be wrestling?
Yeah. This
is going to be a wrestling company. Because it's full of... You gotta have skits and shit.
They're relying on the comedy way too much now.
I saw some of the Jericho celebration, but even making the ending like a Saturday Night Live skit was stupid. I was like, I don't look at wrestling literally as like a sitcom.
And not everything he does has to be funny. He really needs to start being a heel more.
In a dirt, like, yeah. Like, I like the MJF thing, where he's like, I kind of want to sort of, maybe hypothetically, possibly, sort of, maybe join the Inner Circle. I like all that stuff because it's been building for a long time. But with the Cody Rhodes thing, I didn't understand why the fuck his hair's blonde again. Like, do you see that? His hair's blonde again.
Is it again?
He dyed it blonde this past Wednesday. Like, so what are you, dark-haired Cody Rhodes when you're coming back and you're mad?
You're serious, yeah.
Like, because that's stupid. Like, I don't know who he was wrestling. Oh, Orange Cassidy for the title.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
And I'm like, this... I honestly thought, I was like, was just Wednesday? This was, like, 2 nights ago? Like, I thought he had black hair. And I think it's funny. It's like, wow, maybe he heard all the backlash, or I don't even know if there's backlash, but people saying I like the blonde hair more, so let me go back to that. Because if that's the case, I'm thinking, you must fucking hate yourself for having that neck tattoo. Because there's no way he's proud of that. It's garbage. Other than that,
there is more and more stuff I'm starting to pick apart about it, but I still do enjoy it.
I think... Did you see the Archer match?
Yeah.
I think Archer should have won.
Yep.
I mean, that was a good match, too. Like, I actually enjoyed the few minutes I watched of it, but I think Archer should have won that, because if they're going Eddie Kingston as your next champ, no.
I don't think they are.
He's not built, not literally fake, like, he's not... I feel like that would be going backwards. Why would you not make someone like Lance Archer a world champion?
I think they're going to go with Omega. I think he's going to end up winning the tournament, and they're finally going to pull the trigger on Omega.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
I think Archer should have done it. He looks so bad. I don't know why he looks so badass with the blonde hair, with the red in it. He's just, damn, he's so cool. I like him so much.
What's his move? What's Archer's move?
He picks them up by their armpits, with their chest on his shoulders.
Yeah.
And he flips them over onto their back.
For us, it would be a reverse Razor's Edge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
That's cool.
And he's a big enough dude to where he could probably do that to almost anybody on that roster.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I hate when you see like these smaller 200-pound guys doing like cradle shocks, and just because like at some point you're not going to be able to do that to somebody.
Yeah.
And if you don't make sense of that in the feud, then I don't know, like, I'm just trying to think, like, AJ Styles, did he ever style clash Samoa Joe?
I'm sure he did at some point.
I can't picture it, but I could imagine it wasn't just a cakewalk to put him in that position.
Yeah, he had to fight for it all the time.
Right.
Yep. Yeah.
But I hate it when you see the smaller guys do, like, a power bomb move. It's like, yeah, you could do that to the cruiserweights and shit, but once you start going up against the big card guys, you can't do that to them.
Yep.
Like,
yeah,
it's unrealistic. But other than that, I think that's all I really caught up on AEW. I do want a little bit of the bubbly though, if it's still available.
I'll try.
I really
to
would
get
love that.
I'll have to get you a flash drive and get you caught up on that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's shit, you know, I mean, I love watching it, and up to this point, I've not missed a single AEW other than when you haven't been able to provide it. I know Full Gear's coming up soon.
Yeah.
We'll probably do an episode for that.
Yeah, that would be a good one, yeah.
Other than that, is there anything else news-wise you want to talk about real quick to get off?
Not really. I got the Del Rio thing out, so that's just insane to me.
Definitely. I want to see.
I mean, I knew he was a piece of shit, but I didn't know he was that much of a piece of shit. Like, that's just... And then you can see why he fucked Paige up so bad. Like, how her life got screwed up if you're dealing with a guy like that.
Who did Google him?
Alberto Del Rio. The Batman 2022, that 3C Films.
It's not coming out till 2022?
Yeah, it got pushed back.
Wow, that sucks.
Superman Easter egg. There is a set photo of a man in a Superman suit and a red cape on the set of Batman. Like, that's exactly what this picture is.
Wow.
It's hard to see it, but there it is. He circled it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there he is.
Is that the guy?
Yeah, that's him.
We met him once. He was cool.
Yeah, he didn't even stand up for the picture either. And he's bigger than Rey Mysterio. So.
I didn't really care to meet him. I just knew I had something for him to sign, and he was kind of a big deal. But again, I never really gave two fucking dog squirts.
But other than that, I can't really think of anything else that's really going on.
274 likes on that, and all I put was this was the Del Rio thing. I go, I smell an episode of The Dark Side of the Ring season 3. Why would he not be? And then other people are like, yeah, Jake Roberts, Rick Rude, Kurt Hennig, Perry Saturn. I'm like, I'm not that fucking guy. Why are you getting fucking suck the fuck off? So, I don't know. On that note,
That's cool.
if you don't have anything you want to add, I do want to mention, actually, sorry, that a couple weeks ago, or maybe 2 weeks, whatever it was, Dave and I got together. We went up to Lake George, the Heroes Hideout, and we were able to meet Greg the Hammer Valentine, which was just absolutely epic.
And we didn't have to wear masks, which was cool.
No, it was very cool.
Yeah. Saw that.
And there was nobody when we went there. We parked. My mom parked in the Price Chopper parking lot right
Yeah.
behind the building, and I just walked around the block. So I took Gemma. We went and met him, and you couldn't even see him because they have that like a thing right in front of him or whatever. So I'm like standing there. I'm like, is there anybody even in here? Like, there's not a single person in this store right now. So I like look around and I see the kid taking his money, and I'm like, do I just walk up to you guys? Like, you guys ready? He's like, oh yeah. So I'm talking to him, like, oh, how do you pay for that? And the guy goes, oh, you gotta go around the corner. I'm like, oh fuck, where around the corner? And then behind Greg Valentine, they had a curtain, and I just see a guy stick his hand out. Over here! I'm like, oh, I thought you meant like I gotta go outside, around the block, to the fucking wax museum or something.
Over.
And so I went and paid for that, got the picture and the autograph, whatever, and then I just chatted his ear off for probably 10 minutes. Told him, like, I was a huge fan of wrestling when I was a kid, during, like, the Attitude Era and stuff like that, and I got out of wrestling when I got back into it when I was 15. You and Piper, your dog collar match from Starrcade 83?
Yep.
I said that was like the first match I saw when I got back into wrestling, and and it made me fall in love with wrestling, and not just because of like the DX gimmicks and shit that I liked when I was a little kid, but to have an appreciation of it and shit. He was super, super fucking nice. Gemma didn't want to take her mask down, and he goes, "That's all right. You got the prettiest blue eyes I've ever seen." And I was like, "Oh man, like thank you."
A lot of them are so nice.
He was wicked fucking friendly.
If I didn't have, there was a line behind me at that point, so I didn't want to.
There was legit no one there, like nobody there. So I got the yellow picture that I wanted autographed. He ended up taking like 2 or 3 pictures with us, which was really cool. And then to see him like a week later on AEW for that dog collar match, I was like, oh, that's so like cool. They got him in there because he's like, that's like his most famous match.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really radical.
Yeah, that was fun. That was really cool.
Radical. And Greg the Hammer Valentine, that is truly one of the wrestlers I've always wanted to meet for the last 15 years.
Because he's involved in one of my favorite matches, him and Ronnie Garvin from the Royal Rumble in 1990.
I love that picture of that. They have a little picture on that, the 8x10 that I bought.
It was a submission match.
He's got him in the Fatal 4 or the figure 4 lock.
Yeah, and they had like they look like the soccer like shin pads.
Yep.
But Greg Valentine would turn it around to use it as extra pressure on the figure 4.
Oh wow.
So Ronnie Garvin wore one to take the pressure off. And he was like, you know, sticking his tongue out at him and laughing and stuff. And then Greg Valentine ended up taking it off but yep.
This match right here. That's obviously Greg Hammer Valentine. Looks like Amy, right?
Yeah.
Looks just like fucking Amy.
Showed me pictures of
I
that.
know. But that's the match he's talking
It's a
about.
great match.
Right.
They're chopping the shit out of each other in that match.
This is literally someone I've always wanted to meet.
Me too. Yep.
If you want to go back history of wrestling, it's going to go back way before this guy. I mean, his father and shit. But, like, 70s, 80s wrestling before it got turned into, like, but, like, a big worldwide company, essentially, or idea. And you had to wrestle in territories, and you proved yourself literally by just being a tough badass. He was one of them.
Yep.
And he's one of the last.
Yeah.
Legit, he's like one of the last of that era.
That's cool. That's one of the good 8x10s they have.
And it'll be cool because when we do the ICP episode, we'll talk about him a little bit more than that too. Because he's like best fucking friends with Violent J and Shaggy.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They had Violent J and Shaggy. They had an ICP show on like Fuse. Fuse channel.
It was like a Mystery Science
Yeah,
Theater kind
exactly
of
was.
thing. Yeah.
And those two would be sitting there reviewing movies or whatever the fuck it was.
And they would bring wrestlers in.
Yeah,
all
you had
the time.
Vampiro and Valentine were the 2 staples. Yeah. And Valentine was dressed as like an usher or like a busboy or something. And they'd always, "Hey, Greg, what do you think of that video?" And then it would cut right back because he's like a man of very short words.
Yeah.
I mean, even as a wrestler,
His promos were horrible too.
he wasn't a great talker, but he was intense and badass. But yeah, it's cool. I just want to mention that because we are behind on so many activities. But
I want to mention it's a new Netflix original show, The Haunting of Bly Manor.
Ah, yes.
That was very good.
It's
a
like
9-episode.
It's in the same universe or something as
Hill House.
The Haunting on Hill House.
Yes.
I've never seen either one.
Very good.
But I know what you're talking
Very
about.
good.
I would like to check those out.
Little bit of ghosties. More love story.
That's what I've heard. That one's more of a love
Yeah.
story than Ghosties.
Yeah.
Cool news. We're just not going to stop here. I'm a big fan of the TV show Dexter, except for the last season. And it just got confirmed that Michael C. Hall will be returning
That's
for
big.
a limited series, or season, of 10 episodes to bring back Dexter. I cannot wait. I have all 7 seasons over there. I love Dexter. He definitely fits into the horror, spooky stuff because he is a serial killer that works for the CSI crime scene team for the Miami Metro, and it is just great.
Since this is pretty much almost 4 hours, I want to do it in 2 parts. I'll do one next week, and then I'll do one really close to Halloween.
No, that's perfectly fine.
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah, absolutely.
We can spread it, spread it out a little
I
bit.
keep thinking
so.
like Halloween is like next week. It's not.
Yeah. So I'll do one right when I get back from vacation, and then I'll do the week after or a few days after.
How long
so
are you
it's-
on vacation?
I come back on 23rd.
Okay.
So, and then I can do one right before Halloween, you know what I mean? Or
Okay.
right on Halloween.
Now, do we have an episode to put out in between now and then? Did we have anything? on the
I don't know.
Nevada's box?
I don't know if we do or not.
I can't remember it all either. They all kind of blend into each other after.
Because we've been pumping them out a lot.
Well, because like I saw you upload the international incident one, I'm like, Jesus Christ, didn't we do that like 2 months ago? But it's like they just blend.
Time.
But other than that, yeah, you do it in 2 parts.
Okay.
That's totally fine.
I just figured that'd be, instead of one huge, episode.
Yep.
Okay.
Because I would like to plan on our next comic shop being the conclusion of the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Cool.
Yeah, other than that, I don't really have anything else. So I guess on that note, Bane.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Bane is here.
Probably not gonna hear this, but. Bitch, I didn't want to watch a paid message. I ain't got no money. Oh, it's already paid?
YouTube Premium?
No. I just had that as our ending, man. I don't know if you'll pick it up on the camera. No, you're not gonna hear that. So, on that note, this has been the second annual Comic Wrestling Podcast Halloween special. We were terrorized by Bane. We were victimized by the criminal entity known as Dave. And I've been surrounded by all these stupid idiots. And I have to yell because it's the only way you stupid idiots are going to hear me out there in La La Land. I am La Champion of podcast, the Pod God, Ace Jericho. And we want to thank you from the bottom of our dead hearts for checking out the Comic Wrestling Podcast.